Chapter 1560. Zhao Feng's sudden attack left the blue-haired elder powerless to resist. Behind him, God King Swallow Devourer was also alarmed. Even when he was alive, he would have found it very difficult to block this attack. "Don't even think about it," God King Swallow Devourer bellowed as he charged forward. "Swallow the heavens, devour the earth." God King Swallow Devourer circulated his divine power and used a powerful secret art. In an instant, a vortex that looked like a ferocious maw appeared above the blue-haired old man. It fiercely sucked in all the energy of the world around it. God King Swallow Devourer knew that Zhao Feng was extremely fast and had the pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant. If he attacked Zhao Feng, the effect would not be very good. Thus, he used a devouring art to devour the attacks around the elder and weaken them. The blue-haired elder was a samsara immortal body, so as long as he was not quickly killed, he could recover. This was one of the monstrosities of the samsara immortal body. Zhao Feng activated his left eye and stared at the blue-haired elder. This person had to die, or else he would be very difficult to deal with against two god kings. After taking a blow from the primal chaos heaven-shrouding hand, the primal chaos lightning eye, and the space blade from the pseudo-ancestral artifact, the blue-haired elder's body had almost completely collapsed, leaving only a small part of his body. However, the devouring maw created a powerful suction force that madly devoured all the energy in the surroundings, causing Zhao Feng's attacks to weaken. If this continued, Zhao Feng's attacks would not necessarily be able to kill the blue-haired elder. Die! Zhao Feng focused his left eye, activating his dream origin energy. His dazzling left eye immediately began to glow with dreamy colors. The surrounding combatants were all captivated by this sight. The colors were simply too beautiful. God Eye Illusory Oblivion. With this thought, Zhao Feng's vision began to change. All the colors of the dreamy world gathered on the blue-haired elder's tattered body. Everything around him seemed to turn black and white, with only that smear of color attracting the most attention. But suddenly, that dazzling color burst like a bubble, and the blue-haired elder vanished. Within the black gold warship, the right protector's eye of Samsara sensed something. A god monarch Samsara immortal body was already difficult to deal with, but Zhao Feng had just killed his god monarch Samsara immortal body completely. One had to realize that not even a top-class god king could instantly obliterate an ordinary god king, leaving nothing behind, but Zhao Feng had done it. A crazed look appeared on God King Swallow Devourer's face as he savagely roared. When he first met Zhao Feng, he believed that he was stronger than Zhao Feng, but in the end he was unable to devour Zhao Feng's God Eye origin and could only concede. But now, a few years had passed, and he had joined hands with another godly king, yet they were actually unable to do anything to Zhao Feng. What was even more ridiculous was that the blue-haired old man was killed by Zhao Feng, and he was unable to stop it. Die! God King Swallow Devourer roared, and with a wave of his hand he unleashed a storm of dark energy. This energy was the energy he had just devoured, and it contained the energy of Zhao Feng's various killing moves. Zhao Feng circulated Heaven Ascendant and turned into a streak of silver light that sped away. This is a time of war. God King Swallow Devourer can absorb the energy around him, greatly increasing his strength. Zhao Feng rationally analyzed. Although God King Swallow Devourer had conceded in front of him, that was because he could not devour the dream origin, limiting his strength. But on this vast battlefield, God King Swallow Devourer could devour as he pleased, and he was also a samsara immortal body. Zhao Feng would find it very difficult to kill him like he had killed the blue-haired old man. But there was still a way. The God Eye Alliance had long ago known that the heaven-defying faction had many samsara immortal bodies, and the Sage faction had developed a countermeasure. Nearby, a white-robed youth holding a folding fan in one hand and a black array plate in the other was standing on the battlefield. This was none other than the person Zhao Feng had met in the burning heaven sea, Tang Bai. Tang Bai had long ago broken into the second heaven and was at the peak of the second heaven. His strength could not be underestimated. After the life-sacred land sent out its summons, the God-sealing sacred land had swiftly arrived to form an alliance. Seal! Tang Bai placed a hand on the black array plate. Many white runes surged out of it, forming chains that shot forward. Nearby, a samsara immortal body was fighting with a sacred land member. But suddenly, a few white crystal rune chains wrapped around him. What is it? The samsara immortal body grimaced and struggled, but he realized that his strength was greatly limited and growing weaker. Withdraw! Tang Bai activated the array disc and the white crystal rune chains instantly retracted. The samsara immortal body was also pulled into the black array plate. Many thanks. The man fighting with the samsara immortal body expressed his thanks and charged forward once more. The god sealing race was skilled in sealing the heavens, sealing the earth, and sealing the gods. When their sealing arts were combined with the arrays of the sage faction, they formed an even more powerful sealing technique that could effectively target the undying samsara immortal body. Brother Zhao. Tang Bai turned his head to the side to look at Zhao Feng. Just a moment ago, he had received a message from Zhao Feng. God King Swallow Devour, this isn't someone I can deal with. Tang Bai glanced at God King Swallow Devour, who was doggedly pursuing Zhao Feng and grimaced. However, he still hurried over. At the same time, some of the nearby god-sealing sacred land experts also began to gather. Tang Bai alone was naturally not enough to deal with the God King. Audiobook scram. God King Swallow Devour also noticed that something was wrong and roared, unleashing a terrifying wave of black energy that swept through the surroundings. With his strength as a top-class God King, he could easily kill a first or second heaven godlord. Don't even think about it. Zhao Feng's expression chilled. Although these people did not have very high fighting power, they had techniques that could counter samsara immortal bodies. Dreamification. Zhao Feng's left eye began to revolve, sending dreamy mist into the world. With Zhao Feng at the center, everything was gradually covered in dreamy colors, a dazzling paradise. Under the effects of dreamification, God King Swallow Devour was instantly weakened, and his top-class God King energy was vanquished by Zhao Feng. This move again? God King Swallow Devour grimaced. Back then, he had been forced to concede by this move from Zhao Feng. But the situation was different now, and this move was not very effective against him. Swallow. God King Swallow Devour bellowed, and several dozen devouring black holes appeared in a radius of several 100,000 li. He could not devour Zhao Feng's dream origin, but he could devour the divine power of the other experts on the battlefield. Zhao Feng's expression was calm as he growled. Extinguish. Zhao Feng circulated his thought power and focused his attention on God King Swallow Devour. Gradually, the energy in God King Swallow Devour's body began to fade. At the same time, the members of the God-sealing sacred land activated their array plates. Swish swish swish. Several dozen crystalline chains flew out and wrapped around God King Swallow Devour. In a flash, God King Swallow Devour's energy was somewhat sealed. You bastards think you can deal with me? God King Swallow Devour's expression did not change as he roared. Boom. Suddenly, God King Swallow Devour's body exploded with supreme energy. This was the energy he had just devoured from the battlefield. A pitch-black tornado emerged from his body, shattering the chains around God King Swallow Devour and causing the sealing effect to gradually fade. Die in peace. Zhao Feng focused, his left eye flashing with primal chaos lightning. Kakrek. A primal chaos tribulation lightning sword descended upon God King Swallow Devour's body and soul. It unleashed a vast energy that wreaked havoc on God King Swallow Devour's body and soul, causing him to go stiff. At the same time, the members of the God-sealing sacred land once more exerted their strength, sending out chains that wrapped around God King Swallow Devour. Don't even think about trapping me. God King Swallow Devour struggled. Pitch-black vortexes appeared in a radius of several 100,000 li, devouring the energy of the battlefield. This God King Swallow Devour is too difficult to deal with. Even if we seal his energy, he can still devour it and obtain energy from somewhere else. Tang Bai's face was ghastly pale. Moreover, the other experts of the heaven-defying faction were approaching to save God King Swallow Devour. I have the final say in this region. Zhao Feng's face chilled as he began to circulate his thought power. God King Swallow Devour's devouring range just happened to be within the range of Zhao Feng's dreamification. Extinguish. As he circulated his thought power, an unfathomable and unstoppable energy descended upon the world. The black devouring vortexes gradually disappeared. How could this be? God King Swallow Devour was stunned. He had been weakened by dreamification and sealed by the god's sealing race, so his strength had fallen by more than a level. However, he could devour other energies to unleash powerful attacks and break free. But now, he could no longer devour others. But Tang Bai rejoiced and began to burn his divine power, using a secret sealing art to activate the array disc in his hand. Hurry and destroy these seals. God King Swallow Devour hurriedly called out. Those who had come to save God King Swallow Devour immediately began to move, targeting the members of the God Sealing's sacred land. I said before that I have the final say in this region. Zhao Feng's cold and gloomy voice rang out once more. As he circulated his thought power, the enemies in the dreamification region began to fade away. In the face of all this, they were powerless to resist and could only die in fear. No. A third heaven god lord did his best to struggle, but this only served to increase his fear. Zhao Feng's God Eye energy was getting stronger and stronger. How could an expert of the same level possibly resist his Dream Eye bloodline technique? In the end, the third heaven god lord's body vanished. Too powerful. Absurd. Many members of the God Sealing clan were astonished. God King Swallow Devour gradually began to lose the ability to resist. In the dreamification region, Zhao Feng was incredibly powerful and had the God Sealing race's sealing techniques. God King Swallow Devour could only resign himself to his fate. Once God King Swallow Devour's strength began to weaken, Zhao Feng gathered up a large amount of primal chaos energy and used the heaven-eclipsing primal chaos hand to kill him. Now, two God Kings had fallen to Zhao Feng. At this moment, Zhao Feng activated his left eye and looked into the distance. There, the battle between the gods and the Heaven Lord was causing the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to quake. Chapter 1561. In the boundless void, the battle between the god and the Heaven Lord was awe-inspiring. The god eyes had 5 god eyes, the bright sun god, the celestial sword god, and Sikong Dao, a total of 8 gods. Of the 5 god eyes, the myriad forms god eye, the god eye of life, and the genius god Sikong Dao were responsible for defense. The death, space-time, divine punishment god eyes, the bright sun god, and the celestial sword god were responsible for attacking. But in such a situation, they still did not have the upper hand. No matter who it is, no one can stop me. The Heaven Lord's calm face was suffused with majesty and tyranny. Rumble. The Heaven Lord was surrounded by wind, lightning, and fire, all mixed with destructive energy. No one dared to approach. After absorbing the destruction origin, the power of the Heaven Lord's attacks had risen to a whole new level. Ordinary gods would find it impossible to block them. For this reason, the God Eye Alliance put 3 gods in charge of defense. Kill! The chief sovereign of death roared. The 3 God Eye deities responsible for attacking attacked at the same time. This pitch-black torrent of energy, fused with heavenly punishment lightning, was wrapped in space-time energy as it shot toward the Heaven Lord. At this moment, the 3 God Eye deities responsible for attacking were rather well coordinated, able to fuse their attacks together and increase their power. On the other side, the celestial sword Hegemon wielded a damaged ancient sword. He gently slashed out, and a dazzling white streak of swordlight chopped out. As for the bright sun sovereign, he had already transformed into a giant golden red bird. He opened his mouth and spat out a scorching firestorm. Scram! The Heaven Lord coldly shouted. The ancient god-devil body exploded with divine power, causing the surrounding space to crumble. Punches were thrown out one after another. Shocking punches swept out, destroying everything in their path. The battle between the two sides was like lightning. In less than an instant, they had exchanged dozens of blows. What a powerful ancient god-fiend body. It's even stronger than before. Zhao Feng was secretly shocked. Logically speaking, the Heaven Lord had only evolved the Heavenly Dao God Eye, But Zhao Feng sensed that the ancient god-devil body was even stronger than before. Putting aside the heavenly Tao God Eye, the ancient god-devil body alone made the Heaven Lord stronger than any other God Eye deity. This meant that the Heaven Lord definitely possessed the complete ancient race bloodline and could use its full strength. Thump, thump. As he watched the battle between the God Eye deities and the Heaven Lord, Zhao Feng's left eye began to pulse. The dreamy silver orb trembled violently as the origin of dream trembled. For now, I'll just do what I can. Zhao Feng turned around and swept his gaze across the battlefield. Although he had the ninth God Eye, Zhao Feng's current strength was not enough to interfere in the God battlefield. On the contrary, he would become the enemy's weakness, allowing the Heaven Lord to take advantage of it. In addition, stimulated by the God Eye and the heavenly Tao God Eye, Zhao Feng's dream God Eye seemed to be extremely excited, and large amounts of dream origin began to pour out. At this time, Zhao Feng could feel an unending stream of dream origin power. This was the perfect time to vent it all through the battle. Kill! Zhao Feng's figure flashed and he flew out. With the space pseudo-ancestral artifact and the space-time law, he held the advantage on this battlefield in terms of speed. As he flew forward, dark lightning flashed, leaving a bloody path in his wake. When Zhao Feng used his full strength, he could even kill top-class god kings. He posed almost no threat on this battlefield. And to his enemies, he was a god of death, a taboo. Retreat! Cries of alarm rang out as the nearby experts began to retreat. But Zhao Feng was too fast. If he wanted to kill someone, there was no way he could escape. Zhao Feng rampaged through the battlefield, killing without end. Oh no! Divine Emissary Wu was alarmed, his heart trembling. He had been targeted by Zhao Feng. Divine Emissary Wu's body exploded with tyrannical and evil demonic energy. Black streams of light revolved around his body as he fled. Die! Zhao Feng pursued, getting closer and closer. No! Divine Emissary Wu was enraged. He had been watching the battle between Zhao Feng and the two god kings this entire time. After the two god kings were defeated, he had done all he could to get as far away from Zhao Feng as possible, but he had still run into him. Even two god kings with samsara immortal bodies had died to Zhao Feng. How could he possibly put up any resistance against Zhao Feng? That made sense. Even if he tried to escape, it would be useless. Swoosh! With a wave of Zhao Feng's hand, several dozen primal chaos tribulation lightning swords formed and shot forward, sealing off Divine Emissary Wu's path of retreat. Two of the primal chaos tribulation lightning swords pierced through Divine Emissary Wu's body, causing him to stiffen. Primal chaos lightning eye. His left eye activated, and a powerful eye bloodline technique shot out. Kakrek. A primal chaos lightning sword seal appeared above Divine Emissary Wu's head. In a thunderous explosion, Divine Emissary Wu's body was obliterated. After killing Divine Emissary Wu, Zhao Feng moved on to the other Divine Emissaries, his targets being the other Divine Emissaries. It wasn't very good to be a dead man, but he just had to come back to life so he could kill him again. But Zhao Feng would not be stingy with his swords. That vicious and icy cold killing intent caused the enemies to be terror-stricken and flee in all directions. A few moments later, another divine emissary was slain. A second, a third, and then a fourth, on the Black Gold warship, the heaven-defying faction's Gao Ran was also watching. If we let this kid continue, our people will be finished. A Heaven's Legacy race elder said, his eyes brimming with anger. To think that he would have grown so much in such a short time. Yu Lu Ping was stunned. Zhao Feng's strength had already left a shadow in his heart. We can only send a God King to hold down this kid for now. The Right Protector clenched his teeth helplessly. The God Eye Alliance had made ample preparations, and with the help of the Sage faction, they were far stronger than the Heaven-defying faction had imagined. Even so, the Heaven-defying faction still held the advantage. However, Zhao Feng's wanton slaughter had a major effect on the battlefield and had almost reversed the situation. Based on the Right Protector's judgment, almost no one on their side could kill Zhao Feng. Since this was the case, they could only hold down Zhao Feng for now and not let him continue his slaughter. Swish! As Zhao Feng rampaged through the battlefield, The enemies he killed scattered in waves, their hearts trembling in fear. At this moment, a bloody roar resounded. "Brat, don't be impudent." A dark red streak of light flew over, transforming into a middle-aged man wearing a blood-colored robe. The Blood Spirit Sacred Land's god King Fiendblood. The Blood Spirit Sacred Land was the first sacred land to fall to the Heaven Lord, and God King Fiendblood was now a samsara immortal body. "If you want to fight, let's fight." Zhao Feng exploded forward, primal chaos tribulation lightning energy surging around him. As he approached God King Fiendblood, several dozen primal chaos tribulation lightning swords appeared around Zhao Feng and shot forward. Bush. God King Fiendblood flew through the air, exuding bloody ripples as he avoided Zhao Feng's attack with the least amount of damage. Die! Zhao Feng's eyes focused as he formed an extremely heavy primal chaos tribulation lightning sword in his hand and slashed. God King Fiendblood waved his hand, unleashing a bloody vortex to block the attack. The divine power in the blood-colored vortex was violent, bloodthirsty, and extremely powerful. As Zhao Feng destroyed the vortex, God King Fiendblood retreated, dodging the attack. "You want to hold me down?" Zhao Feng finally understood. Although God King Fiendblood was charging forward, he had come to hold him down. This killing intent was God King Fiendblood's own, not aimed at Zhao Feng. "You can't do anything even if you know." God King Fiendblood gave a strange smile. As a top-class God King, if he didn't fight with Zhao Feng, would Zhao Feng be able to kill him? He also didn't believe that Zhao Feng would choose to avoid a fight. "You're too confident, and you're looking down on the ninth god eye too much." Zhao Feng couldn't help but chuckle. Dreamy light flowed through his left eye as large amounts of dream origin surged out. Dreamification. With Zhao Feng at the center, the world was quickly covered in dreamy colors. In this dazzling space, everyone's minds were suddenly filled with an indescribable strange feeling, and their condition in all aspects rapidly deteriorated. Zhao Feng immediately focused the effects of dreamification on God King Fiendblood. "Let's go!" God King Fiendblood immediately retreated, at least out of the range of dreamification. Spatial isolation. Zhao Feng activated the pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant. As a pseudo-ancestral artifact, it did not just have defensive abilities. Spatial isolation was one of its abilities. Swish. Space surged behind God King Fiendblood, forming a thick spatial wall that isolated everything from the outside world. Pseudo-ancestral artifact. God King Fiendblood's face darkened as he inwardly cursed. He could only change directions now. If he used spatial isolation to temporarily stop God King Fiendblood, Zhao Feng would not let him go so easily. Primal Chaos Domain. He unleashed his primal chaos energy. A dark and twisted domain overlapped with the dreamification domain. Under the effects of these two domains, God King Fiendblood was even more suppressed. His speed and movement techniques were already quite good, but now, they were completely suppressed and rendered ineffective. Blood Spirit Explosion. God King Fiendblood's face hardened as his body erupted with a heaven-shaking and bloody energy. Boom. Bang. God King Fiendblood's body turned into a dark red ball of blood that suddenly exploded. The fiendish blood energy instantly dispelled the effects of the primal chaos energy, and God King Fiendblood turned into a bloody trail that rapidly vanished. "You can't escape." Zhao Feng's face chilled as he brought his palms together, the primal chaos domain surging. With the Dream God Eye, Zhao Feng knew God King Fiendblood's every move like the back of his hand. He had long since been on guard against God King Fiendblood's secret art. God King Fiendblood was only here to hold down Zhao Feng, so he only needed to do two things. The first was not to be killed by Zhao Feng, and the second was to hold down Zhao Feng so that Zhao Feng could not kill anyone else. Buzz. BZZ. Large amounts of dream origin energy surged as God King Fiendblood activated his realization ability. God King Fiendblood's speed suddenly slowed to a crawl. Although it was only for a moment, it was enough. Primal Chaos Lock. All the primal chaos energy in the primal chaos domain surged toward God King Fiendblood. Once the primal chaos lock was formed, it would constantly devour the enemy's energy. God King Fiendblood, who had just used a secret art, was already in a weakened state. Not only did he fail to escape, but he was also trapped by Zhao Feng. Extinguish! Zhao Feng used his dream origin energy to use dreamification. At this moment, he had an abundance of dream origin energy. He did not need to be frugal or squander it. God King Fiendblood was unable to resist the dream origin energy, and his body gradually faded away. Even though he had a samsara immortal body, he could not keep up with the devouring speed of the primal chaos lock and the destruction speed of dreamification. God King Fiendblood's body slowly faded away. I didn't think that I would die again so soon. God King Fiendblood chuckled. He had not attacked Zhao Feng on his own accord. As a samsara immortal body, he could only act according to the orders of the heaven-defying faction. A few moments later, God King Fiendblood completely vanished. This time, Zhao Feng had single-handedly killed a God King. This scene caused the hearts of the heaven-defying faction's members to tremble, and they were completely speechless. At this moment, Yu Tianwu suddenly messaged Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, I'll give you a mission. Interfere with the enemy warships. If you can destroy some of their installations, that would naturally be best. The two warships of the Heaven's Legacy race possessed immense destructive power and were one of the most powerful weapons on the battlefield. Okay, that's exactly what I was thinking. Zhao Feng nodded. In a flash of light, Zhao Feng used the primal chaos tribulation lightning energy to slaughter his way toward the heaven-defying faction's warships in the rear. The upper echelon members of the heaven-defying faction couldn't help but guess at Zhao Feng's goal. His goal is this place. Yu Liuping's heart trembled in inexplicable fear. Perfect. If he dares to approach our warships, I'll make sure he never returns. The left protector's face was grim and savage. Chapter 1562. Due to the lack of time, the Sage faction's silver warships were not very well equipped, so the Sage faction focused on defense. The heaven-defying faction's black gold warships were well equipped, and their offensive capabilities were unparalleled. Firstly, both warships were equipped with large-scale destruction weapons. However, the battlefield was chaotic, and the enemies and allies were mixed together. This kind of weapon was not very useful. But besides that, the warships were also equipped with small-scale destruction weapons and offensive arrays that had a massive effect on the battlefield. The members of the heaven-defying faction's black gold warships could only defend and dodge. In a clash between experts, a moment of distraction could be fatal, let alone the interference of the warships. But in this situation, the heaven-defying faction's members were helpless. The firepower of the two warships was so fierce that normal experts could not even get close. A God King had tried to get close to the black gold warship, but he was immediately bombarded by countless attacks and was forced to flee with heavy injuries. By now, Zhao Feng had arrived at the rear of the battlefield. Everyone nearby couldn't help but guess at Zhao Feng's goal. I wonder if he can affect the enemy warships. I hope so. Quite a few members of the heaven-defying faction still held onto a sliver of hope. Impossible. Even a top-class God King would find it difficult to get close to that black gold warship. The Tongtai Zone's God King Golden Dragon shook his head. The upper echelon members of the heaven-defying faction on the black gold warship also noticed Zhao Feng's movements. The arrays and weapons on the warship began to adjust, apparently planning to give Zhao Feng a head-on blow. Zhao Feng's expression was solemn and fearless. In fact, there was even a hint of anticipation. His left eye was constantly trembling in excitement. Right now, Zhao Feng only had one goal: fight. Through this intense battle, he would squeeze out more of the Dream God Eye's power. From the start of the battle until now, he could clearly sense that the power of his Dream God Eye was getting stronger and stronger. At this moment, Zhao Feng desperately wanted more power. Once I can completely use the Dream God Eye's power, I'll be able to participate in the God battlefield. Zhao Feng said to himself. The battlefield he was on seemed vast and boundless, but it was the God battlefield that could truly affect the outcome of the battle. As the ninth God Eye, he was still unable to participate. This made Zhao Feng rather unwilling. Zhao Feng leapt into the air, approaching the heaven-defying faction's warship. All right, Since you've taken the initiative to seek death, this old man will fulfill your wish. Inside the black gold warship, the left protector had a ferocious expression. He and the right protector were both protectors of the heaven-defying faction, but they specialized in different aspects. The left protector was extremely powerful and knew all sorts of terrifying shaman arts and curses of the ancient shaman race. Even God King Radiant Peak was only able to hold him down. The right protector was a member of the Heaven's Legacy race and did not have a powerful combat bloodline. All he had was the Eye of Samsara. He secretly controlled the heaven-defying faction and the techniques of the Heaven's Legacy race. Only in the territory of the Heaven's Legacy race could he display his greatest strength. Attack! The right protector shouted. On the black gold warship, the other Heaven's Legacy race members obeyed the orders of the right protector. In the outside world, the firepower of the two black gold warships instantly focused on Zhao Feng. Quite a few experts of the God Eye Alliance were instantly frightened out of their wits. The heaven-defying faction took Zhao Feng very seriously. If it were any other godly monarch, they would probably be instantly killed. Dream Dimension Projection. Dream origin energy poured out of Zhao Feng's left eye. Using his mental power, he quickly weaved a powerful dream space and released it to permeate the surrounding space. Within this dream dimension, Zhao Feng's strength increased in all aspects. Swish! Several primal chaos tribulation lightning swords appeared around Zhao Feng. The countless attacks of wind, thunder, lightning, and fire had to enter the dream space before they could descend. And in this dimension, Zhao Feng's strength far surpassed common sense. Boom! Plush! Plush! Under Zhao Feng's control, the primal chaos tribulation lightning swords danced through the air, destroying all the attacks. Zhao Feng's true fighting power was enough to kill a top-class God King. In this dream dimension, his strength was infinitely close to that of a god. Don't stop! The right protector roared. Dream Dao energy was extremely taxing on the soul. He did not believe that Zhao Feng could endure it. Swish swish swish, the attacks rained down on Zhao Feng without pause. The primal chaos tribulation lightning swords around Zhao Feng transformed into a primal chaos domain that surged forward to block the enemy's attacks. When one layer of primal chaos tribulation lightning was destroyed, a second layer would immediately replace it. A few moments later, Zhao Feng showed no signs of being unable to hold on. Moreover, he was already extremely close to the black gold warships. Activate the middle-sized destruction weapons. The right protector ordered. Large-scale destruction weapons were the most powerful, but their range was too large and would affect the members of their own side. We've been prepared. Activate. Several members of the Heaven's Legacy race immediately responded. Buzz. Bzzz. Several dozen circular metal holes suddenly extended from the two black gold warships, terrifying ripples of divine power surging out of them. Is it coming? Zhao Feng's expression darkened, and his primal chaos domain surged as he prepared himself. Brum. Suddenly, beams of white light several dozen feet thick erupted from various parts of the two black gold warships. The divine power contained within these beams was extremely pure, as if they had been fired from supreme-quality god crystals. These beams of white light also contained a destruction law. Each beam of white light approached an ordinary god king, but under the control of the heaven-defying faction, all of them struck Zhao Feng at the same time. If not for the fact that Zhao Feng was in the dream dimension, he would not have dared to take on such a terrifying power. Dreamification. Zhao Feng's left eye once more circulated, sending vast amounts of dream origin energy into the surrounding space. The dream dimension strengthened the user while dreamification weakened the enemy. The combination of the two was extremely effective. The overlapping of dreamification and dream dimension projection caused the world around Zhao Feng to become dazzling and enchanting. One would find it impossible to imagine that this was a scene from a battle. Defend. After using dreamification to weaken the enemy's destruction attacks, Zhao Feng focused on defense. First, the primal chaos domain shrank into a gloomy sphere that wrapped around Zhao Feng. Spatial energy. Zhao Feng activated pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant, using its perfected space law to fuse with the primal chaos domain to strengthen its defenses. Finally, Zhao Feng used the primal chaos lightning vortex. This was the strongest defense Zhao Feng could use at the moment. Boom. BZZ. Surrounded by these layers of defense, everything around Zhao Feng trembled. His left eye was able to see through everything to see what was happening outside. In the face of this massive destruction attack, Zhao Feng's dream dimension was being torn apart. If not for the massive amount of dream origin energy supporting it, it would have already been shattered. Boom. The primal chaos domain's defenses were slowly worn away, allowing the destruction attack to descend upon the primal chaos lightning vortex. The heaven-defying faction's attack was now weakened, and it was no longer as powerful as before, but the primal chaos lightning vortex was still being torn apart. Void Spirit Barrier. Zhao Feng activated the pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant and used its defensive abilities. A translucent layer of dark silver spatial energy condensed into a barrier that protected Zhao Feng. Within the warship, the members of the heaven-defying faction were all tensed up. No one had expected Zhao Feng to be able to last this long. The spatial barrier protecting Zhao Feng was slowly fading, but their attacks were also on the verge of fading. In the end, Zhao Feng was unharmed. How dangerous! Zhao Feng breathed a sigh of relief. He had been able to block this attack mainly because of his vast dream origin energy and the outstanding defensive abilities of the pseudo-ancestral artifact. He blocked it. Many experts on the battlefield stared at Zhao Feng like he was a monster. There was probably no one else present who could block such a powerful attack. This kid, is there really nothing I can do about him? The right protector had a nasty grimace. As a God Eye wielder, Zhao Feng's strength was constantly increasing through the stimulation of the God Eye. It probably wouldn't be long before he became another God Eye deity. The Heaven Lord will deal with him. The right protector grimaced and coldly snorted. At this moment, outside the warship, Zhao Feng said, "It's time for me to give you a big gift. Eye of Heaven." Zhao Feng's eye intent carried his eye bloodline as he left his divine body and floated into the air. The enormous silver eye exuded an indescribable pressure. God Eye duplication. A roar came from the soul dimension. A large amount of dreamy mist began to seep out of the dreamy scheme. Suddenly, a white light shone out of the dreamy mist. An astonishing pillar of white light exploded forward, its target none other than the black gold warship the right protector was on. Originally, Zhao Feng would have found it very difficult to duplicate such a powerful attack, but dream origin energy continued to gush out, making it practically inexhaustible. Coupled with the fact that the duplication time was rather long, Zhao Feng succeeded. Within the warship, how could this be? This is bad. What do we do? When everyone saw this, their hands trembled. They were at a loss of what to do. None of them had expected Zhao Feng to be able to unleash such an attack. It was as if he had turned their attack into his own and was now attacking them. Although the Black Gold warship also had extremely powerful defensive abilities, it had been in an offensive state just now, so it was difficult for it to switch so quickly. Boom. Bang. A crystalline pillar of white light shot into the Black Gold warship's core. Flames soared into the sky from various parts of the Black Gold warship, and thick smoke rose. Wonderful. The members of their side hadn't expected such a reversal. Zhao Feng hadn't just destroyed a small part of the warship, he had destroyed the core, almost crippling the entire warship. On the white warship, Yu Tianwu also revealed a look of surprise. The Eye of Heaven vanished, and his soul returned to his body. Zhao Feng immediately charged toward the damaged Black Gold warship. The Black Gold warship had suffered heavy casualties. All the surviving members guessed that Zhao Feng wouldn't let go of this chance, so they immediately fled. The right protector turned into a plume of black smoke and slipped out. Although the right protector was also a top-class god king, he was not skilled in combat, so he wouldn't fight with Zhao Feng. "You can't escape." Zhao Feng's cold and indifferent voice resounded. He could ignore the other small fries, but how could he let go of a person like the right protector? Chapter 1563. The right protector's heart shivered when he saw that Zhao Feng had long since locked onto him and was charging at him while ignoring everyone else. Although he was not skilled in combat, he was still a top-class god king of the Heaven's Legacy race. However, the right protector knew that he was no match for Zhao Feng, so he chose to run. Swish swish swish. With a wave of his hand, several dozen primal chaos tribulation lightning swords formed and shot forward. The right protector made no attempt to dodge, choosing to flee as fast as he could. Boom! Bang! Several primal chaos tribulation lightning swords pierced through the right protector's body, but his samsara immortal body allowed him to quickly recover. At the same time, another warship of the heaven-defying faction switched to a defensive stance and approached to save the right protector. "Stay, old turtle!" Zhao Feng coldly barked. The right protector was infuriated by this curse. As the right protector of the heaven-defying faction, when had he ever been insulted like this? However, the right protector maintained his rationality and continued to flee. But Zhao Feng was already faster than the right protector, and the right protector's momentary hesitation, Zhao Feng rapidly approached the right protector. Intrusive dream. His left eye quickly formed a dream dimension. Zhao Feng's left eye exuded a fatal attraction that made it hard for the right protector to maintain his focus and slow him down. Intrusive dream has also gotten stronger. Zhao Feng inwardly rejoiced. The dream god eye was getting stronger and stronger. It wasn't just the ability to turn dreams into reality, but also intrusive dream. At the start, Zhao Feng had only planned to affect the right protector a little. But the effects of intrusive dream far surpassed his expectations. However, it was still not enough to pull the right protector in. Primal Chaos Lightning Eye. His left eye unleashed a powerful eye bloodline technique. Kakrek. A dark lightning sword mark suddenly appeared above the right protector's head. The boundless power within it surged downwards. Because of the effects of intrusive dream, the right protector's mind was somewhat muddled. This primal chaos lightning eye was unleashed to its greatest extent, bombarding the right protector's soul and body. Primal chaos lock. Zhao Feng released a large amount of chaotic force and clasped his hands together. The wave-like chaotic force surrounded the right protector, as if it was going to envelop him. Right then, the right protector regained consciousness. He immediately tossed out a few pieces of metal, which shone with many mysterious heaven's secret runes and released a powerful force. A formation? Zhao Feng's left eye focused as he activated his dream origin and activated the power of realization. In an instant, one of the metal blocks disappeared. For special devices that were small in size and didn't have much power that needed to be activated, Zhao Feng's ability could easily erase them. What? The right protector was shocked. The metal instrument he had thrown out was a device to activate the array formation. However, before it was fully formed, Zhao Feng glanced at it and made one of the devices disappear. In this way, the formation could not be fully activated. Chaos Lightning Eyes. Zhao Feng activated his left eye and fired off another powerful eye bloodline technique. At the same time, the Primal Chaos Lock was activated again. By the time the right protector regained consciousness, he had already been enveloped by the Primal Chaos Lock. The energy in his body was gradually being devoured. Samsara immortal bodies were undying and indestructible, but they were still powerless against the Primal Chaos Lock. The Primal Chaos Lock constantly devoured the energy of the trapped person. The right protector could rapidly recover from the destruction of his body, but he didn't have the ability to recover energy. Intrusive dream. Zhao Feng once more used this eye bloodline technique. This time, the weakened right protector didn't last very long before he was sucked into Zhao Feng's dream dimension. Where is this? The right protector looked around in surprise. He had clearly been trapped by Zhao Feng's Primal Chaos Lock a moment ago. How had he suddenly appeared here? At this moment, a figure appeared in front of him. It was none other than Zhao Feng. However, the current Zhao Feng gave off the impression that the right protector was a mighty figure that he couldn't even contend against. Hisses. Space surged as a terrifying energy instantly gathered on the right protector's body. How could this be? The right protector was pressed to the ground, unable to move. He was extremely shocked. In this strange space, Zhao Feng was so powerful that he couldn't resist at all. Speak, where is the last space ancestral artifact fragment? Zhao Feng coldly asked. A terrifying pressure constantly assaulted the right protector. Previously, when fighting on the battlefield, Zhao Feng had been roaming around, trying to use the pseudo-ancestral artifact on him to sense the location of the last space ancestral artifact fragment. However, Zhao Feng was somewhat disappointed. You won't be able to find it in your lifetime. The right protector laughed loudly. It looks like you still don't understand your situation. Zhao Feng's expression turned cold. He reached out and slapped the right protector's head. The right protector knew that Zhao Feng wanted to search his soul, but he discovered that he couldn't even self-detonate. A moment later, Zhao Feng's face turned frosty after learning the answer. With a cold snort, a powerful energy surged out and destroyed the right protector in the dream dimension. Meanwhile, in the outside world, boom! The right protector's body suddenly exploded and disappeared without a trace. Even the Samsara immortal body could not recover from such a situation. How's the situation? The pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant couldn't help but ask. Right now, it only lacked one final piece to become a complete ancestral artifact. How could it not be anxious? It's destroyed. Zhao Feng lowered his head and said, the heaven-defying faction was no fool. They knew that once Zhao Feng obtained the pseudo-ancestral artifact, he would do his best to repair it. Thus, the heaven-defying faction had destroyed the ancestral artifact fragment they had. Dominate the battlefield. The Heaven Lord had an extremely gloomy expression as he learned of the situation on the battlefield. Boom! Bang! The Heaven Lord's body suddenly erupted with a tyrannical energy that could shake the heavens. Endless streams of gold and silver light dyed the heavens. This primordial bloodline is simply a true primordial race. The chief sovereign of Death's heart trembled slightly. Even without the heavenly Tao God Eye, the Death God was no match for the Heaven Lord just by relying on his ancient race bloodline. Take this. A head of gold and silver light began to condense in the Heaven Lord's hands, and it began to exude an ancient energy that could shake the heavens. At this moment, the energy gathered on the Heaven Lord's body caused the world to tremble. The God Eye deities all shivered in fear. No one could guarantee that they would be able to take such a powerful attack. Let's use that. The divine punishment gods solemnly said. In the white worship, Lu Qinxin had a complicated expression. After using this, not even my destiny God Eye will be able to predict what will happen next. In this battle, Yu Tianwu and Lu Qinxin had relied on their destiny energy to secretly influence the outcome of the battle. But once the God Eyes used their trump cards, it would be hard to predict what would happen next. There's no other way. This is the only way to defeat the Heaven Lord. The Death God's pitch-black eyes were extremely gloomy. Their God Eyes had already reached their limits, but the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye could still grow. If they could not eliminate him now, the next time the Heaven Lord appeared, he would probably be even stronger. If all of you agree, then let's do it. Lu Qinxin sighed. For the sake of victory, they had to take this risk. Ancient wrath. The Heaven Lord roared as he pushed forward with both palms. The gold and silver head flew forward, opening its mouth and bellowing in fury. The heavenly Tao God Eye activated, and the head began to blaze with flames, growing a head of fiery hair. A moment later, the head's eyes began to crackle with lightning. Following that, a thick layer of rock appeared on the surface of the skull. That sinister mouth was emitting a frightening destructive power. Don't get too carried away. The divine punishment god solemnly said, his lightning-flashing eyes exploding with dazzling light as vast amounts of origin energy surged out. At the same time, the other God Eye deities did the same. With a flick of his hand, all the God Eye origin energy gathered in the air, fusing together into a dark and turbid mist. This mist exuded a dreadful energy that could shake the entire fan universe. Even the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye trembled. God Eye fusion art. The Heaven Lord's eyes went wide in recognition. Tianwuzi. The Heaven Lord grimaced as he turned to the white warship behind him. That's right. I also know this secret art. Yu Tianwu directly replied. All the God-Eye deities were extremely agitated. They didn't know much about the gathering of God-Eyes and the summoning of the supreme ancestral eye. In the previous battle, they had worked together to fuse their origin attacks precisely to prepare for this secret art. After all, Yu Tianwu had only just told the gods about this secret art. They had not even tried it yet. In addition, Lu Qinxin did not participate in this fusion. After all, the Destiny God-Eye had not fully recovered. If she participated, it might have the opposite effect. Kaboom! Within the dim and turbid mist of light, an enormous eye of nothingness could be vaguely seen. At this moment, the entire ancient desolate realm of gods and fan universe began to tremble. Countless places in the world began to shatter. This is all we can do, the divine punishment god said through clenched teeth. It was extremely difficult for the 5 God-Eyes to use this secret art, and all of them were under enormous pressure. Moreover, this was the first time they used it, so the fusion was not very good. Boom, boom. The enormous heavenly Tao God-Eye unleashed a terrifying wave of gray-white light. As it swept past the gold and silver head, the flames, earth, and destruction energies were stripped away layer by layer. In the end, even the energy of the ancient race gradually faded away. This is the power of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. The heavenly lord's entire person changed. He was incomparably excited. His 3 eyes were wide open as he stared at the dark and turbid eye of nothingness. Buzz. Bzz. The eye at the center of the Heaven Lord's brow twitched in excitement. Still, the Heaven Lord roared, his heavenly Tao God eye madly turning. An indescribable suction force erupted from the eye and engulfed the area in front of him. As they were both using heavenly Tao energy, he could naturally absorb it. Kaboom! The 5 gods found it difficult to control this energy for the first time, and the heavenly Tao energy leaking out of the heavenly Tao God eye was absorbed by the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God eye. The Heaven Lord gave a look of extreme enjoyment as he took in a deep breath. One had to realize that when he first formed the heavenly Tao God eye, it had taken him several battles and several years to become proficient in using the heavenly Tao God eye. As for the gods who were using the God eye fusion art for the first time, they naturally found it difficult to control heavenly Tao energy. The Heaven Lord used this chance to absorb a significant amount of heavenly Tao energy. The 5 God-Eye deities noticed this and began to slowly grasp and control this energy. Of course, it wasn't just the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God-Eye that was stimulated. Down below, Zhao Feng's left eye felt a stabbing pain as an even more vast dream origin energy seethed within his God-Eye dimension. Chapter 1564. The 5 God-Eye deities used the God-Eye fusion art to create an even more powerful heavenly Tao God-Eye. Although it was more powerful, it was also more unstable. After all, the 5 gods had only used a secret art to activate this energy, but the Heaven Lord had fused with it permanently. Within a radius of tens of millions of kilometers, everyone was shaken by this terrifying power. Heaven and earth collapsed, the sun and moon turned upside down, and the nearby world was already beyond recognition. A power even stronger than the Heaven Lord? The left protector's heart trembled. Inside the silver warship, Lu Qinxin and Yu Tianwu stared at the distant horizon. This is part of the power of the heavenly law ancestral eye. It should be able to deal with Yu Tunshu. Yu Tianwu muttered. Lu Qinxin's destiny god eye began to exude even more destiny energy under the influence of these 2 heavenly Tao god eyes, causing the energy of her destiny god eye to grow stronger and stronger. It was clear that the 2 heavenly Tao god eyes had also affected Lu Qinxin. But even so, the birth of 2 heavenly Tao god eyes had shaken the fan universe and thrown the heavenly Tao into disarray. Her destiny god eye found it hard to predict anything. In the sky, the power of the heavenly law. The Heaven Lord was extremely excited, and the heavenly Tao eye on his forehead began to tremble. The power of the 5 sovereigns was incomparably familiar to him, and he desperately wanted to obtain it. Swallow! The Heaven Lord used his heavenly Tao god eye to absorb that unknown and powerful heavenly Tao god eye. This was the first time they had used this secret art, and the power was simply too great. It wasn't easy for the 5 hegemons to control it. The Heaven Lord used this chance to absorb the energy of the Heavenly Tao God I to strengthen himself. Rumble, the 2 forces of Heavenly Tao did not exchange blows. It was just an invisible clash that caused the surroundings to darken. On the battlefield below, everyone was affected by an unparalleled power. They trembled in fear from the bottom of their hearts. Even the low-level experts had to prostrate themselves before this power. Go! God King Radiant Peak immediately ordered. The battle between the sovereigns was simply too terrifying. If they got too close, they wouldn't even know when they would be killed by the shockwaves. Retreat! On the other side of the battlefield, the left protector commanded everyone to stay away from the ruler-level battlefield. When the entire battlefield was far away, only Zhao Feng was left in the chaotic space. Zhao Feng stood in place, his left eye glowing even more brilliantly. Buzz, the spinning left eye, released dreamy whirlpools of light that caused the nearby space to suddenly dissipate like mist. At this moment, the energy exuded by Zhao Feng's left eye made even God King Radiant Peak and the left protector fearful, not daring to recklessly approach. Brother Feng! Zhao Yufei couldn't help but cry out. Now that the battlefield had been evacuated, Zhao Feng still stood there as if he hadn't heard anything. There's no need to worry about him. Zhao Feng's 9th God Eye is about to truly appear. When the time comes, he'll probably be able to interfere in a battle between God Eye deities. God King Radiant Peak's surprised face was tinged with joy. In the distant void, the 2 Heavenly Tao God Eyes faced each other from a distance, causing space itself to crumble inch by inch, leaving behind nothing but nothingness. However, this void was still brimming with terrifying energy. Ordinary God Lords would die if they approached. Sky Wrath, you control it. We'll support you. The space-time god called out. If all 5 of them tried to control that energy, it would only make things even more chaotic. Since that was the case, one person would control it while the others supported him. They could not allow the Heaven Lord to continue devouring Heavenly Tao energy. They had not come to help the Heaven Lord, but to kill him. Okay. The others reached a consensus. After a few moments of exploration, the 5 gods smoothly took control of the Heavenly Tao God Eye. The speed at which the Heaven Lord devoured Heavenly Tao energy also slowed. Heaven Lord, your death has come. The Divine Punishment God roared. Above their heads, the turbid eye in the gloomy mist seemed to stare at the Heaven Lord's Heavenly Tao God Eye. Victory isn't decided yet. The Heaven Lord's face darkened, a hint of madness appearing on his face. He had absorbed a significant amount of Heavenly Tao energy just now, and he could sense that his Heavenly Tao God Eye was even stronger than before. Although he was somewhat fearful of the Heavenly Tao God Eye formed by the 5 God Eye deities, the Heaven Lord was confident that his control over Heavenly Tao energy far surpassed theirs. Kill! The Divine Punishment God roared. Those turbid and blurry eyes emitted a soul-stirring power. Death, divine punishment, space-time, myriad forms, and other energies suddenly erupted. Umph! The Heaven Lord coldly snorted as he activated his Heavenly Tao God Eye. Boom! Bang! A distorted, destructive light burst forth, containing a powerful force that could annihilate all laws of nature. In its path, the energy unleashed by the 5 God Eye deities rapidly vanished. The Heaven Lord had only discovered this energy after some time when he fused with the Heavenly Tao God Eye. He was confident that the 5 God Eye deities did not know how to use it. As expected, the 5 God Eye deities could only use their Heavenly Tao God Eye to unleash powerful attacks to block the Heaven Lord's energy. Boom! Bang! The Heavenly Tao God Eye formed by the 5 God Eye deities was struck by a heavy blow and swayed. Large amounts of Heavenly Tao origin surged out, causing the fan universe to tremble. Swallow! The Heaven Lord used his Heavenly Tao God Eye to absorb this Heavenly Tao energy. This scoundrel! The 5 God Eye deities grimaced. Although they had condensed Heavenly Tao energy, they were unfamiliar with it, allowing the Heaven Lord to take advantage of it. But compared to familiarity with the Heavenly Tao God Eye, the 5 God Eyes seemed to be much more efficient. Gradually, the 5 God Eye deities began to take control of the Heavenly Tao God Eye. As expected of God Eyes, They're much faster at controlling this energy. The Heaven Lord became a little more cautious. The 5 God-eye deities activated their heavenly Tao God eyes, their dark and turbid eyes flashing as they unleashed waves of gray-white light that swept forward. Ancient Divine Fist. The Heaven Lord circulated his ancient race bloodline energy and unleashed a peerlessly powerful fist of energy, and then he used his heavenly Tao God Eye to amplify this power. This golden-silver fist of energy was imbued with wind, fire, lightning, and destruction. Boom, bang, crash. The two energies collided, stirring up a forbidden storm that surged forward. The two sides were fighting in the Qing Chestnut Zone. But at this moment, the Qing Chestnut Zone was crumbling and in chaos. Countless low-level star factions were devoured by this disaster. And the shockwaves of this storm were still spreading, affecting the entire ancient desolate realm of gods. Boom. The battle between the 5 gods and the Heaven Lord continued. In the distance, only the God Kings of the Heaven-defying faction and God Eye Alliance could faintly see what was going on the battlefield. The rest could only hide behind their defensive barriers. Within the White Warship, good. The 5 God Eye deities are gradually gaining the upper hand. Lu Qinxin could clearly see what was going on with her Destiny God Eye. The power of the heavenly Tao God Eye formed by the 5 God Eye deities was definitely stronger than the Heaven Lord's. The Heaven Lord was only able to rely on his proficiency in using heavenly Tao energy to gain a slight advantage at the start, but that wasn't important. As the 5 God Eyes gradually gained control of this energy, the Heaven Lord began to fall into a disadvantageous position. Bang! A chaotic wave of gray-white energy shattered the Heaven Lord's attack and struck his body. In a flash, the Heaven Lord's body was almost obliterated, leaving only a tiny portion. Recover. The Heaven Lord pushed his samsara origin energy to its limit, allowing his body to rapidly recover. This scoundrel is truly difficult to deal with. The divine punishment god mentally sighed. Even if the 5 God Eyes combined their heavenly Tao energy, they would not be able to kill the Heaven Lord in a short amount of time. Although they had the advantage, the Heaven Lord was far too difficult to kill. Moreover, they could sense that the Heaven Lord was occasionally absorbing their heavenly Tao energy during the battle. The Heaven Lord also understood that his opponents were stronger than him, so he was relying on his ancient God Devil body and Samsara Immortal body to block their attacks while absorbing some heavenly Tao energy. By doing this, he would be able to reverse the situation. He can devour heavenly Tao energy. I wonder if we can also devour his heavenly Tao God Eye's energy? The Death God had this question in mind. The Heaven Lord was so powerful because his heavenly Tao God Eye was his greatest reliance. If they devoured the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye's energy, what would the Heaven Lord be able to do? The 5 gods gradually began to grasp this technique. Devour! The 5 gods controlled the heavenly Tao God Eye and unleashed a terrifying suction force. All the surrounding energy was shattered, leaving only heavenly Tao energy to gather. You old fogies, stop looking down on me. The Heaven Lord immediately began to exert his strength, his heavenly Tao God Eye erupting with an equally powerful energy. This scoundrel was hiding his strength. The divine punishment god was secretly alarmed. As it turned out, the Heaven Lord was absorbing their heavenly Tao energy to strengthen his heavenly Tao God Eye. But the Heaven Lord had never fully displayed this power. He had been feigning weakness, hoping to absorb more heavenly Tao energy so that he could completely reverse the situation. The 5 gods were in turmoil when they sensed this. This Heaven Lord was far too scheming. One moment of carelessness and they almost fell for his tricks. Kaboom! The 2 heavenly Tao God Eyes exploded with peerless energy as they began to absorb each other's heavenly Tao energy. In this contest of heavenly Tao energy, the fan universe shuddered. The zones around the Green Chestnut Zone were all shattered as if the apocalypse was about to arrive. In this contest of heavenly Tao God Eye, Zhao Feng was the closest to this area. As time passed, the pain in Zhao Feng's left eye gradually lessened. But the God Eye's transformation was not over. Boundless dream origin energy surged out of the God Eye dimension. This surging dream origin energy surged out of Zhao Feng's left eye and transformed into a dazzling dream. But the contest of the heavenly Tao God Eye was far too frightening, so no one noticed this phenomenon. Is this the power of the dream God Eye? Zhao Feng was invigorated. This dream origin energy was not only affecting his left eye, but also permeating every part of Zhao Feng's body. At this moment, he felt like his left eye could unleash an incredible power at the level of a god. He even felt like he could do anything. But dream energy doesn't seem to have much offensive power. Zhao Feng began to think. Of course, even if it didn't have much offensive power, it could still be of enormous use. I wonder if I can repair an ancestral artifact. An astonishing thought emerged in Zhao Feng's mind. Repair an ancestral artifact. An ancestral artifact was born from the great Tao of the world and was unique. If even one piece was missing, it would never be complete. Zhao Feng didn't care too much. He just wanted to give it a try. As he circulated the power of realization, an intense thought formed in his mind. The dream origin energy in Zhao Feng's body was rapidly fading. As for the heaven ascension on his body, it was covered in a layer of dazzling colors. What's going on? Heaven Ascendant's mind trembled. It sensed an extremely intimate and powerful energy acting on its body. Just as it was shocked and confused, Heaven Ascendant suddenly realized that its strength had soared to a new level. Ancestral artifact. Heaven Ascendant's mind was stunned. At this moment, it had recovered to the complete space ancestral artifact. Chapter 1565. As he sensed the incredibly realistic and complete space law, Zhao Feng knew that he had succeeded. Truly inconceivable. Zhao Feng was inwardly stunned. He only believed that his god eye was not suited for offense, so he wanted to test it out of curiosity. He hadn't expected for the pseudo-ancestral artifact, which was missing the last fragment, to be complete. At Zhao Feng's current level, he might have succeeded in duplicating an ancestral artifact fragment, but each ancestral artifact fragment was different. However, every ancestral artifact fragment was different. Zhao Feng had never seen the missing fragment before. However, the ability to turn dreams into reality had accomplished this. Moreover, because Zhao Feng's god eye was in the middle of excitedly transforming, he felt that it hadn't taken much energy. What level has my strength reached now? Zhao Feng was rather curious. He had no way of knowing if he could completely use the Dream God Eye's power. If he could, with the Dream God Eye and the Space Ancestral Artifact, he could be considered a god. But Zhao Feng felt that the Dream God Eye still contained a power that he could not draw out. There's no rush. I already have a complete ancestral artifact. I'll first comprehend the space law and become a god king. Zhao Feng was in no rush. No one noticed Heaven Ascendant's transformation from a pseudo-ancestral artifact to an ancestral artifact. Everyone's attention was focused on the battle between the two heavenly Tao God Eyes. Zhao Feng closed his eyes and stood there just like before. But in truth, he was using the Dream God Eye to create a dream, and his mind entered the dream to cultivate. With a complete space ancestral artifact, Zhao Feng was extremely confident that he could push his space law to perfection. After all, a god king with a god eye was a god. Once Zhao Feng became a god king, he would be a god eye deity. In the boundless void, the Heaven Lord and the five God Eyes were still in a standoff. The Heavenly Tao God Eye on the Heaven Lord's forehead and the Heavenly Tao Ancestral Eyes above the five gods were staring at each other. The Heavenly Tao intents of the two God Eyes fiercely clashed, devouring each other's energy. Although there was no mighty momentum, the sight of the two Heavenly Tao God Eyes was a taboo. Other than the power of the Heavenly Tao, no other power could exist. Even if a God King was here, he would probably be turned to ashes immediately. The power of the two Heavenly Tao God Eyes far surpassed that of a god. For this reason, the bright sun Hegemon, the celestial sword Hegemon, and Sikong Dao didn't interfere in the battle between the two Heavenly Tao Ancestral Eyes for now. There was another point. On the surface, the God Eye deities had the upper hand. This scoundrel has been devouring our heavenly energy all this time and has been hiding it. Otherwise, we would have lost without a doubt. The Divine Punishment God was rather angry. Of course, this was their first time condensing the Heavenly Tao God Eye, so they were unfamiliar with it and found it difficult to control its power. This allowed the Heaven Lord to use this chance to devour a portion of the heavenly Tao energy. Otherwise, if they had taken such measures from the start, the Heavenly Lord would have been finished. There are 5 of us. Why would we be afraid of him? The chief sovereign of death let out a cold snort. Of the 8 great god eyes, he hated the Heaven Lord the most. Samsara and annihilation had both died to the Heaven Lord. The heavenly Tao God Eye formed by the 5 of them was certain to defeat the Heaven Lord. I'm afraid that it won't be that simple, the Life God worriedly said. The fact that the Heaven Lord was able to fight against the 5 of them was the best proof. The Heaven Lord always had some secrets that others could not understand. At this moment, the Life God suddenly realized that the Heaven Lord's aura had slightly changed. I forgot to tell you that the true form of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye is the ancient God-Devil body, known as the ancient ancestor God. Thus, the ancient race bloodline and the heavenly Tao God eye have a certain relationship. The Heaven Lord suddenly gave a strange smile. Is that so? The God eye deities were rather surprised by this. In their minds, the owner of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye was already an invincible expert. It was normal for them to have an ancient God-Devil body. However, the Heaven Lord's words truly did resolve one of their doubts. The Heaven Lord's ancient God-Devil body truly had gotten stronger. The God-Devil body alone was enough to defeat a single God Eye. But just when everyone thought that the Heaven Lord was just casually showing off, the heavenly Tao God Eye at the center of the Heaven Lord's brow began to change. The 8 different colored eyes began to gather toward the center. The heavenly Tao God Eye began to exude an even purer energy that could rule over all in the world. The God Eye images behind the Heaven Lord also began to change. The 8 God Eye images began to fade while the blurry eye in the center became a little clearer. This was a gray-white and turbid eye, and within it were many blurry runes that were twisting and changing according to some sort of law. If one looked at it, they would feel like they were looking up at that eye, cold and emotionless, breathtaking and insignificant. Ha! The Heaven Lord heartily laughed, and an even stronger heavenly Tao will erupted from his brow. What's going on? The divine punishment god was alarmed as he focused all his energy on controlling the heavenly Tao God Eye. Why did his eye suddenly get stronger? We're gradually losing ground. The other God Eye deities were stunned. The Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao was getting stronger and stronger, and the devouring energy was gradually turning the tide. Within the white worship, Lu Qinxin and Yu Tianwu grimaced, panic appearing on their faces. The heavenly Tao God Eye formed by the 5 God Eye deities not only strengthened the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye, but it also stimulated its refinement and fusion. Lu Qinxin's eyes widened. God Eyes could help each other, and the heavenly Tao God Eye was no exception. Although the heavenly Tao God Eye of the 5 God Eyes was stronger, the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye had evolved to a deeper level and was even more complete. This kind of eye has long since surpassed the realm of God Eyes. It wouldn't be wrong to call it a pseudo-ancestral eye. Yu Tianwu had a calm expression, but he was inwardly panicking. He wasn't the only one panicking. The spectators, God King Radiant Peak, God King Heaven Dragon, and God King Charflame, were all panicking. Besides that, this battle had attracted the attention of almost all the top-class experts of the ancient desolate realm of gods. This battle would decide the fate of the ancient desolate realm of gods. We can't lose. The divine punishment god roared. As a God Eye, how could he lose to someone who had obtained the heavenly Tao God Eye through stealing eyes? At this time, calling the Heaven Lord's eye the heavenly Tao God Eye was no longer appropriate. The eye at the center of the Heaven Lord's forehead was far too powerful. God Eyes simply could not compare to it. Calling it a pseudo-ancestral eye was more appropriate. There are 5 of us. How could we lose? The other God Eye deities furiously activated their God Eyes and focused their attention. Submit. The Heaven Lord found it hard to conceal his joy. The heavenly Tao God Eye's evolution had once more helped him reverse the disadvantageous situation. Kaboom! A mysterious and turbid wave of light emerged from the center of the Heaven Lord's forehead. Wherever it passed, any other energy would be annihilated. When it reached the eyes above the heads of the 5 gods, it had a massive impact. The 5 gods felt like their heads were ringing as if they had been struck by a hammer. But the 5 god-eye deities were no pushovers. The Heaven Lord was not strong enough to directly defeat them. At this moment, Lu Qinxin's voice resounded in their minds. We are God-eyes, and we can grasp the power of the heavenly Tao God-eye even faster than the Heaven Lord. Since the Heaven Lord's God-eye can evolve, so can we. These words caused the 5 god-eye deities to change their moods, their eyes shining with determination. At the same time, Lu Qinxin's destiny origin energy floated out of the white warship. Lu Qinxin's destiny god-eye had not fully awakened before, so she could not participate in the god-eye fusion art. But under the stimulation of the 2 heavenly Tao god-eyes, she could now completely use the power of the destiny god-eye. Bzzz. The white ball of destiny origin energy floated next to the heavenly Tao god-eye above the heads of the 5 gods. After all, it was not a direct fusion, so Lu Qinxin did not dare to recklessly fuse her destiny origin energy into it. If she did, it might have the opposite effect. But the 5 gods could use the heavenly Tao god-eye to devour and fuse with the destiny origin energy. The 5 gods understood Lu Qinxin's intentions, and they all tried to devour that destiny origin energy. Don't even think about it. The Heaven Lord's expression chilled. He did not believe that he would fail now that his enemies had 6 god-eyes. But nothing was absolute, and he would not let go of a single factor that could lead to his failure. A gray-white beam of divine light shot out of the pseudo-ancestral eye, instantly arriving on the other side. Scram! The divine punishment god roared. Their heavenly Tao god-eyes erupted with a god energy that could destroy all laws and order, and it clashed with the gray-white beam of divine light. The bright sun god, celestial sword god, and Sikong Dao also attacked, using their strongest attacks to stop the Heaven Lord. Flames, swords, and fists of energy shot forward. Boom! A muffled explosion came from the horizon. Although the pseudo-ancestral eye was powerful, the heavenly Tao god-eye was still formed by 5 god-eye deities, so it could still put up a fight. At the same time, the heavenly Tao god-eye focused on the destiny origin energy and absorbed it. In a flash, the massive heavenly Tao god-eye buzzed, the mist within it twisting and transforming, radiating divine light. It's getting stronger. The Heaven Lord's eyes dimmed. Fighting against so many god-eye deities at the same time truly was not easy. It would be very difficult for them to defeat him, and it would also be very difficult for him to defeat them. Bzzz. The blurry eye within the mist gradually grew clearer. Countless tiny and mysterious runes appeared within the gray-white pupil, exuding a cold and emotionless aura. It was as if no power could defeat it, and one could only submit and worship it. The 5 god-eye deities also sensed the difference in this power, that it had reached a whole new level. The bright sun god and the other 2 god-eye deities could only retreat and watch this battle. In the distance, Zhao Feng was cultivating in his dream, but he also noticed the changes on the battlefield. Truly terrifying. I wonder if I'll be able to participate in this battle now that I'm a god. Zhao Feng was alarmed, but then his lips curled into a smile. After the dream god I got stronger, his comprehension abilities also got stronger. Everything seemed to go smoothly, and his space law was already extremely close to perfection. Chapter 1566. What a powerful energy! The divine punishment god sensed the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye and felt like he could do anything. Fortunately, as the divine punishment god, he had an upright and plain-spoken heart, and he was also facing a powerful foe. Otherwise, his mind would have been affected by this energy. At the same time, the other 5 hegemons could also sense this power. I really wonder just how strong the true heavenly Tao ancestral eye is. They couldn't help but sigh. But right now, eliminating the enemy was the most important thing. The Heaven Lord was far too crafty. Even if they had the slight advantage, they could not let down their guard. Kill! The divine punishment god roared as he took control of the pseudo-ancestral eye's power. The dark and turbid eye surged with powerful energy. The entire eye began to transform, becoming even more majestic, mysterious, and inviolable. It seemed like the god of the world, inspiring reverence. Boom. Whoosh. The eye grew stronger and stronger. Gray-white energy surged, forming a gray-white figure in the air. It was so massive that one couldn't even see its end, and it exuded a boundless pressure. The figure extended a hand, ignoring distance as it descended on the Heaven Lord's head. Kaboom! Space collapsed, and all the energy was obliterated. This hand was like the hand of the heavens. Every line on it was like a law, an order that could decide everything, making it impossible for anyone to even think of resisting. Many of the god kings watching from a distance felt their legs tremble when they saw this hand, and they wanted to kneel. I am the true successor to the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. The Heaven Lord's face was ruthless, his 3 eyes flashing with a wicked and vicious light that made others shiver in fear. Boom! Bang! The Heaven Lord's eyes also exploded with powerful heavenly Tao energy. Like an erupting volcano, this energy collided with the massive hand, the 2 powerful energies clashing. Boom! Bang! Crack! With this hand as the center, space began to crumble and shatter. In the end, your strength is no match for the 6 of us god eyes. The divine punishment god coldly snorted, his face calm and dignified. It's still early. The Heaven Lord's face twisted into a crazed smile. His body grew larger and larger, his ancient race bloodline getting stronger and stronger. At the same time, the chaotic heavenly Tao energy unleashed from the Heaven Lord's forehead gradually condensed into a massive arm. Boom! Bang! The palms of the 2 arms collided with each other, producing a dull, loud sound. What? This fellow? The chief sovereign of Death's face turned cold. As god eyes, they were able to control this energy even faster and more easily dig out deeper levels of it. But the Heaven Lord's ability to learn was also very strong. This was probably because of his Heaven's legacy race bloodline. Moreover, his desire for victory and his resolve far surpassed everyone else's. No one can defeat me. The power of the eye on the Heaven Lord's forehead grew stronger and stronger, and his body became as imposing as a primal chaos god devil. Quick, kill him! The 6 god eyes deeply respected the Heaven Lord. The divine punishment hegemon controlled the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye, unleashing yet another powerful attack. The grayish-white giant hand gradually grew in size, and at the same time, its power increased. Boom! The heavenly Tao energy unleashed from the Heaven Lord's forehead was crushed by the massive palm. The Heaven Lord's body flashed as he retreated and punched at the god-eye deities. Defend! The heavenly punishment hegemon summoned the power of the heavenly Taos. A grayish-white wall suddenly appeared on his right side, as if it had separated this part of the world. Boom! Bang! The supreme ancient bloodline attack was like a piece of tofu crashing into a steel wall and shattering. This battle is over. The divine punishment god coldly stared at the Heaven Lord. The 5 god-eye deities slowly moved toward the Heaven Lord and unleashed powerful attacks. Although the Heaven Lord was getting stronger, he could not surpass the 6 god-eye deities in terms of strength. Boom! Bang! With a heaven-shaking boom, the Heaven Lord was thrown back tens of thousands of li. The Samsara god's power rapidly restored the Heaven Lord's shattered body. These old scoundrels! The Heaven Lord's face was somewhat ghastly pale. The 6 god-eye deities were simply too powerful. Escaping would be very difficult. At this moment, a strange ripple of energy in the distance attracted the attention of many experts. Boom! Zhao Feng's body began to exude a powerful perfected law, and his left eye began to slowly turn, radiating a dreamy light. Zhao Feng's energy began to climb, causing the hearts of the distant god kings to tremble in fear. He's become a god king? God King Radiant Peak rejoiced. Wonderful! Brother Feng has the 9th god eye. If he participates in the battle, Zhao Yufei was extremely excited. The 6 god-eye deities and the members of the sage faction also glanced at Zhao Feng. Originally, becoming a god was a major event that would shake the entire wilderness. No one would underestimate it. However, the 6 god-eye deities and the Heaven Lord had gotten used to the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye. To them, the energy of a god could only be described as weak, so they were not that surprised. It was only because Zhao Feng was a god eye that he managed to attract their attention. But Zhao Feng suddenly stood up and scanned the 6 god eye deities and the Heaven Lord. At this moment, he had finally become a god king, a god eye deity. In a flash, Zhao Feng approached the battlefield of the 6 god eyes. What powerful heavenly Tao energy! As he approached the 6 god eye deities, Zhao Feng began to feel the invisible pressure of the heavenly Tao energy. Zhao Feng sensed that his perfected space law had been greatly weakened, and even the primal chaos and tribulation lightning energies in his body found it difficult to exert much of their power. Zhao Feng, who had originally planned to participate in the battle after becoming a god, felt rather discouraged. But the closer he got to the pseudo-ancestral eye, the more excited Zhao Feng's dream god eye became. With a moment's thought, Zhao Feng released a layer of dream origin energy that wrapped around his body. Zhao Feng immediately realized that his dream origin energy could counteract the heavenly Tao energy, and the pressure on him gradually faded. The 5 god eye deities chilled. For some reason, their hearts inexplicably throbbed. This brat! In the distance, the Heaven Lord's expression was gloomy. In his mind, Zhao Feng was not one of the 8 great god eyes. This was because the heavenly Tao ancestral eye was formed from the origin energy of the 8 great god eyes. As long as he seized these 8 origins, he could fuse with the heavenly Tao ancestral eye, but the 9th god eye was not one of them. Thus, after the Heaven Lord formed the heavenly Tao god eye, he shifted his focus from the 9th god eye. There's no 9th god eye. Then his eye. The Heaven Lord was certain that there were only 8 great god eyes. Although there was a legend of the 9th god eye, he believed that this legend was false. Then what was Zhao Feng's eye? The fake? Zhao Feng, work with the other 3 gods to disturb the Heaven Lord. The divine punishment god roared. In his view, Zhao Feng's participation was dispensable. After all, they already had the upper hand. Moreover, the power of a god was rather weak in front of the pseudo-ancestral eye. Thus, he had Zhao Feng work with the other 3 gods. The 4 gods working together should be able to have some effect on the Heaven Lord. Okay. Zhao Feng joined up with the other 3 gods and went to the other side, where they were responsible for disrupting and restraining the Heaven Lord. It was too difficult for them to injure the Heaven Lord, but restraining and disrupting him was still possible. Boom. Bang. The moment Zhao Feng's group began to move, the 6 god eye deities began to attack, their terrifying energy causing Zhao Feng and the other 3 gods to feel their hearts tremble. Space-time barrier. Celestial moat sword. Zhao Feng's group used powerful techniques to obstruct and disrupt the Heaven Lord's movements. The Heaven Lord's face was ghastly pale as he scanned his surroundings. He was at a disadvantage at this time. In the face of the powerful pseudo-ancestral eye, even his chances of escaping were minuscule. But he did not give up. In this perilous moment, the Heaven Lord's mind was rapidly turning, thinking of all possible plans to reverse the situation. Suddenly, an idea came to the Heaven Lord's mind. He suddenly discovered a clue in his sea of memories. He had overlooked it at the time, but now that he thought about it, this piece of information was extremely important. Boom, bang, crash. At this moment, the heavenly Tao energy of the 6 god eye deities approached. The Heaven Lord found it hard to resist, and he was forced to retreat in a sorry state. Extremely far away, Zhao Feng's group attacked and interfered with the Heaven Lord. Let's gamble. The Heaven Lord's face was crazed, his eyes extremely gloomy. Let me unveil your true face. The Heaven Lord roared as he charged at Zhao Feng. Oh no! Zhao Feng grimaced. Being stared at by the Heaven Lord made him feel like he couldn't breathe. The other 3 gods also grimaced and began to retreat. They knew that the Heaven Lord was powerful, so they kept their distance. In their view, the Heaven Lord's target was the 8 great god eyes, so he probably wouldn't attack them. Zhao Feng, the bright sun god, and the others began to retreat. Zhao Feng possessed a perfected space law, so he was able to flee 1,000,000 li in a flash. The 6 god eye deities also began to intercept the Heaven Lord. Boom! The illusory figure in the pseudo-ancestral eye waved its arm, and an enormous and indescribable arm appeared in the Heaven Lord's path, blocking off the world. "Break!" The Heaven Lord roared, the eye on his forehead turning at full power, unleashing a frenzied wave of energy. Not good. He's burning his heavenly Tao origin. The 6 gods were taken aback. Although the Heaven Lord had been in desperate straits in his battle with them before, the Heaven Lord had never burned so much heavenly Tao origin at once. Boom! Bang! The ash-white arm, which was like 100,000 mountains, suddenly exploded. A silver silhouette passed through it at high speed. Move! The Heaven Lord's left eye focused on a few specks of dust 1,000,000 li away. Suddenly, the Heavenly Lord appeared where the specks of dust had been, and the specks of dust ran to where the Heavenly Lord had been. The positions of the two had been silently switched. The Heaven Lord instantly approached Zhao Feng. Run! Zhao Feng activated his complete space law and the pseudo-ancestral artifact, transforming into a blur as he fled. Die! The Heaven Lord punched again and again, using the Heavenly Tao God Eye to amplify the power of his ancient bloodline attacks. Ordinary gods were powerless against the Heaven Lord at this time. Thump thump thump. Thump thump. The ancient race energy, the Heavenly Tao energy, and unprecedented danger caused Zhao Feng's left eye to fiercely thump, and a stabbing pain almost made him faint. Kaboom! A moment later, a tsunami of dream origin energy surged out of Zhao Feng's left eye, engulfing Zhao Feng as if preparing to rescue Zhao Feng. Chapter 1567. In his weakened state, the Heaven Lord was willing to burn his heavenly Tao origin to attack Zhao Feng. The 6 God-Eye deities had not expected this. In the face of the Heaven Lord's attack, the intense sense of danger and the stimulation of his ancient bloodline and heavenly Tao energy caused the Dream God Eye to unleash a tsunami of dream origin energy. In a flash, Zhao Feng was engulfed in boundless dream origin energy. At a glance, he was like a dreamy crystal ball, displaying the most beautiful colors in the world. On the other side, the Heaven Lord stared at Zhao Feng. He suddenly recalled the reports he had obtained on Zhao Feng. One of them was that Zhao Feng had once used the abilities of his eye in the Heavenly Demon Hall to undo the God-Eye fusion art of the 8 great God-Eye descendants. Although it sounded a little unbelievable. But if it was true, it could resolve his current predicament. In addition, the Heaven Lord felt that Zhao Feng's God-Eye contained some sort of extraordinary secret. His eye had already evolved to the pseudo-ancestral eye level and could even devour the strongest heavenly Tao energy. Perhaps it could also devour the energy of Zhao Feng's God-Eye, though he still didn't know what kind of energy it was. And at this moment, the dream energy erupting from Zhao Feng's left eye made the Heaven Lord feel that something was wrong. On the other side, the 6 God-Eye deities were also captivated by this sight. Zhao Feng's 9th God-Eye had always been a question mark on their minds. Although they acknowledged that Zhao Feng was a God-Eye, they had never placed him in the circle of the 8 great God-Eyes. But now, as they stared at that massive ball of dreamy light, they felt extremely uneasy. Feng. Lu Qinxin revealed a trace of unbearable nervousness. Before this battle began, she had realized that the final chance of victory did not lie with the 8 great God-Eyes, but with Zhao Feng. But Lu Qinxin didn't know exactly what to do. Now that the Heaven Lord was attacking Zhao Feng, she couldn't help but be nervous. But there was nothing they could do. This shouldn't be a God-Eye. A hint of surprise appeared in the divine punishment Hegemon's eyes. The Heaven Lord's fist punched at the dreamy mist. Rumble, the dream origin suddenly became incomparably agitated. It was as if a slow stream had turned into a raging wave. After the two forces collided, they actually canceled each other out. How is this possible? The Heaven Lord was alarmed. An attack from his ancient god-fiend body was already enough to crush an ordinary sovereign. Furthermore, he had infused his fist with the power of the heavenly Tao. But the energy released by Zhao Feng's God-Eye was actually able to counteract it. Of course, this energy was still too weak to completely block the Heaven Lord's attack. However, it was still growing stronger and stronger at a rapid pace. Gurgle Zhao Feng's left eye was like a source, spewing out vast amounts of dream origin energy in an endless stream. Zhao Feng, on the other hand, had almost lost consciousness from the intense pain in his left eye. Before, Zhao Feng had only used a small amount of dream essence. Furthermore, there had been a process. Now that so much dream essence was being used up, it was naturally difficult for him to bear. So much origin energy. Zhao Feng was startled. He hadn't expected his left eye to contain so much energy. But soon, the dream origin energy was about to run dry. And the Heaven Lord's attack had not completely disappeared. Am I still going to die? Zhao Feng was somewhat unwilling to accept this. But just when the dream origin energy was about to run dry, another incalculable and terrifying power suddenly rushed out from the dreamy silver ball. At this moment, the dreamy silver ball was dyed even more dazzling, and the sliver of silver completely vanished. The entire dreamy silver ball seemed to transform into a pure dreamy crystal ball. The image of an eye on the crystal ball shone with an even more dazzling light, and it seemed to have become an actual eye. Boom! An even purer dream origin energy charged out of Zhao Feng's left eye. If Zhao Feng's origin energy was like clouds of mist before, then now the origin energy Zhao Feng released was like viscous seawater on a completely different level. The sliver of silver in Zhao Feng's left eye completely vanished, replaced by a pure dreamy color. As this powerful dream origin energy charged out, the distant Heaven Lord grimaced, and the pseudo-ancestral eye on his forehead trembled. On the other side, the god eyes of the 6 god eye deities pulsed. The god eye fusion art they were using suddenly became extremely unstable. The grayish-white shadow in the endless void suddenly became blurry and gradually dissipated. Just what? The Heaven Lord was stunned. Zhao Feng hadn't died to his attack, and his eye had exploded with another powerful energy. He found it strange that he hadn't been able to kill Zhao Feng after paying such a heavy price. But just as he imagined, the god eye fusion art of the 6 god eye deities had become unstable. The Heaven Lord realized that his pseudo-ancestral eye was also somewhat affected, but it was very small. Divine Might's fury. The Heaven Lord didn't have much time left. No matter what was going on with Zhao Feng's eye, he couldn't let go of this chance. The Heaven Lord immediately activated his pseudo-ancestral eye and attacked the 6 god eye deities. Kaboom! The pseudo-ancestral eye unleashed a gray-white and turbid energy that formed a massive illusory head in the sky. The head opened its mouth and unleashed a roar suffused with boundless divine might at the 6 god eye deities. Originally, the 6 gods had been thrown into disarray by the god eye fusion art. But now, the Heaven Lord's protector suddenly attacked. Oh no! Too fast! Everyone's expression changed abruptly, and they were horrified. The Heaven Lord seemed to have known all this, and the moment the god eye fusion art went wrong, he immediately attacked. In the face of this attack, the 6 god eye deities could only barely use the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye to resist. Bang! The pseudo-ancestral eye unleashed a gray-white wave of energy that collided with the vast divine might. The gray-white wave of energy shattered, and the powerful shock wave continued on toward the pseudo-ancestral eye. Pulled. The divine punishment god clenched his teeth, the veins on his forehead bulging like little earthworms. The other god eyes also put in their all. Suddenly, boom! The massive pseudo-ancestral eye trembled and then collapsed. The god eye fusion art had been undone. At the same time, the 6 gods vomited blood, their bodies unsteady, their faces ghastly pale and incredulous. How did they end up like this? How did they fail? Ha! The Heaven Lord laughed heartily. Nothing was more exciting than turning the tables in desperate straits. The Heaven Lord was extremely excited at the sight of the 6 god eyes suffering from the backlash. Boom! Without any hesitation, Zhang Xian punched out. The pseudo-ancestral eye boosted this golden-silver fist to several levels of power, transforming it into an invincible power. Without the pseudo-ancestral eye, the 6 god eyes would find it hard to stop it. Retreat! The divine punishment god roared. In the face of the Heaven Lord's powerful attack, they could do nothing but dodge and run. Lu Qinxin's warship immediately began to retreat. Swish, swish, swish. The other 5 god eye deities, the bright sun god, the celestial sword god, and Sikong Dao also began to retreat. Stay. The Heaven Lord's pseudo-ancestral eye began to turn. An invincible energy descended, one that could not be resisted. At this moment, everyone for tens of millions of li felt an impregnable pressure that caused them to freeze in the air. At this moment, the 5 god eyes, who should have been able to smoothly escape, were in grave danger. The Life God and Myriad Forms God were within range of the Heaven Lord's punch and had no time to escape. Although the Life God and Myriad Forms God were skilled in defense and possessed formidable vitality, they could not stop this attack. Seal of Life. In this crisis, the Life God's eyes began to blaze with dazzling green flames. A tremendous amount of life energy erupted from her body. Boom! This supreme energy pushed the Myriad Forms God, who was at the edge of the attack, several li away. At the same time, the Myriad Forms God absorbed the Life God's burning life origin, allowing him to explode with even greater power. Life. The Myriad Forms God turned his head and called out as he fled the attack range. But before he could even glance at the Life God, boom! The terrifying fist of energy howled forward, engulfing the Life God and obliterating all. The other God Eye deities grimaced at this sight. Just now, the Life God and Myriad Forms God were both doomed, but the Life God used her own power to save Myriad Forms. Moreover, the remaining 5 gods sensed a mysterious and complicated mark appear on their bodies. It was shaped like a leaf and exuded vast amounts of life energy that instantly healed all their injuries. Before dying, the Life God used all her life origin to use this secret art. The Divine Punishment God lowered his head and began to sway. This way, even if she died, the Heaven Lord would obtain very little life origin and would need some time to recover. At the very least, he would not instantly become incredibly powerful. The Life God was dead, but before she died, she had done everything she could. We've already lost. The Death God's body trembled. Even though the Life God had done her best, they had still lost. Although they could use the God Eye fusion art again, it would not be as good as before. And the Heaven Lord had devoured another God Eye origin and was certain to become even stronger. On the other side, the Heaven Lord madly laughed as the pseudo-ancestral eye on his forehead absorbed the Life God's power from the fan universe. The result was already set in stone. None of the God Eyes could do anything to change it. But as he was absorbing the Life God's power, the Heaven Lord's face froze as he suddenly remembered something. Within the White Warship, Lu Qinxin and Yu Tianwu fervently stared at Zhao Feng. At this moment, Zhao Feng's body was engulfed in a dreamy sea, his entire body glimmering with dreamy light. The silver luster of his hair had already receded, transforming into dreamy threads that fused with the surrounding dreamy sea. Zhao Feng's left eye slowly turned, radiating dazzling light as the energy it exuded grew stronger and stronger. This energy surpassed that of a God Eye. This energy was close to the pseudo-ancestral eye. Chapter 1568. The Heaven Lord had killed the Life God Eye and received the Life God energy from the fan universe, but he was not the most eye-catching target. On the other side of the gloomy world, indescribably dreamy colors and a dreadful origin energy began to spread, attracting everyone's attention. This terrifying energy instantly surpassed the God Eye level and approached the pseudo-ancestral eye level. How could this be? What a powerful energy! The Divine Punishment God was stunned. At this moment, his Divine Punishment God Eye felt a deep fear. The only things that could make him feel this way were the Heaven Lord's Heavenly Tao God Eye and the evolved pseudo-ancestral eye, but now there was one more. How is this possible? Isn't his eye a God Eye? The Death God's mind trembled. The limit of a God Eye was the God Eye. Unless one used a special method, one could not increase their strength. But Zhao Feng's Dream God Eye had broken through the limit of a God Eye and was evolving on its own, advancing in an even stronger direction. Moreover, all the God Eye deities present felt an inexplicable fear toward Zhao Feng's left eye. Within the White Warship, Yu Tianwu and Lu Qinxin watched all the changes that had occurred to Zhao Feng, their expressions flickering. His eye isn't a God Eye? Yu Tianwu muttered in shock. At this moment, this was the only possibility. Although I don't know the specifics, there's still a chance to save him. Lu Qinxin's destiny god Ai also trembled in inexplicable fear. Before the battle, she had deduced that the crux of this battle lay with Zhao Feng. Now, it all depended on Zhao Feng. Extremely far away, the top-class experts of the ancient desolate realm of gods believed that everything was over when they saw the life god killed. But Zhao Feng's strange behavior ignited hope in their hearts. In this dark, monotonous, and cold world, that gorgeous color was so warm that it made one yearn to approach it. The Heaven Lord, who was receiving the life god's energy, had his 3 eyes wide open and extremely solemn. This kid's eye. The Heaven Lord's face was dark and ruthless. He could clearly sense that Zhao Feng's eye had surpassed the god eye level and was approaching the pseudo-ancestral eye level. This point had already surpassed common sense. In addition, for some reason, the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye had suddenly become restless, the heavenly Tao origin within becoming berserk. It seemed to view Zhao Feng's eye with extreme hatred. The Heaven Lord's emotions were also disturbed, and he hated Zhao Feng far more than before. The Heavenly Lord's 3 eyes glared at Zhao Feng, brimming with killing intent. Boom! The heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye on his forehead let out a terrifying aura. A beam of gray light shot out, mercilessly punishing everything. Zhao Feng, watch out! The heavenly punishment hegemon immediately barked. Even if they worked together, they would find it very difficult to block an attack from the pseudo-ancestral eye unless they used the God Eye fusion art. The power of the heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye was too strong, and it could suppress any power or law in the world. Apart from perfected laws, no other laws could exist before the power of the heavenly Tao. Not good. Zhao Feng sensed that something was wrong, but he found it difficult to circulate the energy in his body to dodge this attack. Retreat, retreat. This was the only thought in Zhao Feng's mind. If he couldn't dodge this attack, he would be doomed. Nothing else mattered. But because of the dream god Eye, Zhao Feng could only use a portion of his energy, and this energy was negligible under the suppression of the heavenly Tao. It was basically useless. The gray-white divine light coldly and mercilessly swept toward him. The gray-white divine light swept past. But strangely, it did not hit Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng softly called out in surprise. Just now, his body had inexplicably teleported several thousand li away, allowing him to avoid the Heaven Lord's attack. But he hadn't used instant movement just now. Even someone with a perfected space law would find it difficult to use instant movement in the face of the pseudo-ancestral eye's heavenly Tao energy. At this moment, Zhao Feng's left eye gradually regained its senses. Previously, he couldn't sense the existence of his left eye at all. The dream sea around him gradually returned to Zhao Feng's left eye. Could it be the dream god eye? Zhao Feng realized. Perhaps he had activated the ability to make dreams come true just now. That was the only way to explain why he had appeared in another place out of the blue without any warning. And now, Zhao Feng could clearly sense his left eye and use it. Not dead. The Heaven Lord's brow creased. Not even the combined power of the 6 god eyes would be able to so easily dodge the attack of the pseudo-ancestral eye. If I want you to die, you'll die. The Heaven Lord bellowed in rage. Boom! A massive wave of gray-white light shot out of his heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye. This time, the Heaven Lord's attack had an even larger range, and the suppression on the other laws of the world was even stronger. Even a perfected law would find it difficult to exert much power. Go! Zhao Feng grimaced as he activated his dream god eye. BZZ. A dreamy membrane of light appeared around his body, and then it gradually faded away. Of course, this process was actually very brief. Swish. 100,000 li away, Zhao Feng appeared out of nowhere, escaping the Heaven Lord's attack range. What kind of power is this? It's not suppressed by my heavenly Tao energy? The Heaven Lord was taken aback, and then his expression darkened. Heavenly Tao energy could suppress any energy in the world, but why couldn't it suppress Zhao Feng's? The other God Eye deities were also stunned by this sight. Before the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye evolved into the pseudo-ancestral eye, they could still fight back, But after the pseudo-ancestral eye evolved, they would have no other choice but to fuse with their god eyes. But now, Zhao Feng alone was able to contend against the Heaven Lord. Seeking death. The Heaven Lord's brow furrowed in anger. He had already absorbed all of the life god's energy. Although it wasn't much, it was rapidly recovering. Swish. The Heaven Lord's body flashed as he approached Zhao Feng. This time, the Heaven Lord was getting serious and was personally attacking Zhao Feng. Watch out, Zhao Feng. The divine punishment god called out. The god-eye deities almost charged out as well. Die. The Heaven Lord punched with his right hand, unleashing a gold-and-silver pillar of energy. Go! Zhao Feng activated his dream god eye and used the realization ability to lock onto a certain place. Swish. A dreamy membrane of light enveloped his body, and a moment later he vanished and reappeared elsewhere. It's not instant movement. As he was relatively close to Zhao Feng, the Heaven Lord was sure that Zhao Feng's movement method had nothing to do with a space law. However, without using spatial laws, how could one suddenly arrive at another place from one place? Of course, Heavenly Tao energy was an exception. You can't escape. The Heaven Lord's Heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye turned. Swish. The Heaven Lord's body suddenly dimmed, and then he vanished. A moment later, the Heaven Lord appeared next to Zhao Feng. Go! Alarmed, Zhao Feng tried to flee once more. But the Heaven Lord tightly pursued Zhao Feng, not letting up in the slightest. Swish. 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 Two figures darted back and forth through the void. This ability to go wherever he wanted without using spatial laws was truly inconceivable. Any other assassin with this ability would almost never fail an assassination mission. So strong. Zhao Feng did not dare to relax and continued to flee. At this point, he could only use this ability to preserve his life. And for some reason, the Heaven Lord's hatred for Zhao Feng was only growing, as if the two of them had countless grudges against each other. The Heaven Lord cast the 5 god eyes to the side. Of course, the Heaven Lord was even stronger now. Killing the 5 god eyes was as easy as flipping his hand. But before that, he wanted to kill Zhao Feng even more. Swish. 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 But the Heaven Lord could not stop Zhao Feng's movement, nor could he predict it. Heaven falls, earth rends. The Heavenly Lord roared to the heavens, and a power that could rule over all things in the world erupted from his forehead, shooting into the endless void. Brum. Space for millions of li began to tremble, the trembling intensifying as it rumbled. A moment later, this dimension exploded with destructive energy. Wind, lightning, fire, golden light, and shattered stone filled every inch of space. At a glance, it seemed like the entire world was about to be destroyed. Fortunately, the others were rather far away, or else they would have found it very difficult to deal with this calamity. Let's see where you can run. The Heaven Lord snorted as he pursued Zhao Feng. At this moment, Zhao Feng had nowhere to run. Everywhere was filled with energy that could easily slay a god. Yes, Zhao Feng truly did feel an intense danger. The world was filled with destructive energy, and he was being pursued by the Heaven Lord. A moment later, Zhao Feng was on the verge of death. Dream Dimension Release. Zhao Feng activated his Heavenly Tao God Eye, creating a dream dimension and releasing it. BZZ. With Zhao Feng at the center, a beautiful scene overlapped with the world. Within his dream dimension, Zhao Feng's strength was boosted, and even the power of his dream god eye was gradually getting stronger, reaching the pseudo-ancestral eye level. Disappear. Zhao Feng circulated his thought power and scanned through all the dangers within the dream dimension. A moment later, the boundless energy of wind, lightning, water, and fire suddenly calmed down, their power gradually weakening. What? The Heaven Lord was shocked. Someone of Zhao Feng's abilities was actually able to render his technique ineffective? Take this sword of mine. Zhao Feng's face chilled. Primal Chaos Tribulation Lightning energy surged, forming a Primal Chaos Tribulation Lightning sword. He was not the type to passively take a beating without fighting back. Moreover, Zhao Feng was gradually regaining his senses. He could now use the Dream God Eye as he pleased, and he now had a better understanding of the Dream God Eye's true power. It turned out that his inability to fully use the Dream God Eye's power wasn't his problem, but that the Dream God Eye was far from reaching its limit. Now, Zhao Feng was confident that he could use an even deeper level of the Dream God Eye's power. Stronger, stronger. Zhao Feng activated his Dream Pseudo-Ancestral Eye and focused on the Primal Chaos Tribulation Lightning Sword. BZZ. A layer of dreamy light appeared on it. Shortly afterwards, the size of the sword multiplied. The power of the chaotic force and the tribulation lightning multiplied by several times. It turned into a towering sword that fell down. Primal chaos and tribulation lightning energies were far inferior to heavenly Tao energy. But the power contained within Zhao Feng's primal chaos tribulation lightning sword was unimaginably vast. When one's power reached its limit, it could break through a certain shackle. Boom. Bang. The world trembled as primal chaos and tribulation lightning energies spread out. Chapter 1569. The enormous power of the chaos tribulation lightning swept out in all directions like a tsunami. In the distance, countless experts circulated their divine power to defend. Quite a few third heavens and god kings retreated even further. Retreat for now. The divine punishment god called out. Both the Heaven Lord and Zhao Feng were getting stronger and stronger, seemingly with no end in sight. Earlier, they had been thinking about working together with Zhao Feng to fight against the Heaven Lord, but now it seemed that it was better to retreat. Moreover, they were still the Heaven Lord's targets, so it was best to retreat for now. They also wouldn't leave everything to Zhao Feng. When the God Eye fusion art was cancelled, they suffered a certain backlash, but with the life seal that the life god had left behind before her death, they might be able to recover a little faster. When the time came, they might even be able to use the God Eye fusion art again. Boom. At this moment, a powerful heavenly Tao energy soared into the sky from the center of the chaotic sea of primal chaos tribulation lightning. The grayish-white air currents once again formed a grayish-white silhouette in the air. It was boundless, with no end in sight. It was a daunting sight. This meant that the Heaven Lord was getting serious. Zhao Feng, no matter what kind of strange eye you have, you will submit to the heavenly Tao's pseudo-ancestral eye. The Heaven Lord's face was gloomy, his rage and killing intent almost tangible. Then let's try. Zhao Feng's expression was calm and solemn. In the past, he would never have clashed directly with the Heaven Lord. But as the Dream God Eye grew stronger and stronger, he was able to dig out even more of its power, so he no longer feared the Heaven Lord. Moreover, as the Dream God Eye awakened and transformed into a pseudo-ancestral eye, certain images began to appear in Zhao Feng's mind. Although the content was unclear, Zhao Feng felt that he had to stop the Heaven Lord. This was what he should be doing. Boom. The Dream Pseudo-Ancestral Eye surged out of the Dream Pseudo-Ancestral Eye, creating a dream realm domain around Zhao Feng. Die! The Heaven Lord roared, his face savage. The massive gray-white figure waved a hand. Far away, above Zhao Feng's head, an immeasurably large gray hand appeared. It was cold and merciless, emitting a crushing pressure. This palm strike covered a vast area, and its might was incomparable. Cut, cut. Zhao Feng activated his Dream Pseudo-Ancestral Eye and used his realization ability. An invisible mist of dreamy light appeared on the huge grayish-white hand. Then, the power contained in the grayish-white hand gradually weakened. The effect is actually this bad? Zhao Feng's ability to turn dreams into reality could change anything. However, it was not obvious that it was targeted at the power of the Heavenly Tao. It could be said that the price was extremely high. Zhao Feng had no idea that on the other side, the Heaven Lord's mind was in turmoil. This was the power of the Heavenly Taos, a power that reigned above all other powers. It could control all things and set down all laws. Yet, it was actually affected by Zhao Feng's pseudo-ancestral eye. This was simply inconceivable. Is his eye related to the ancestral eye? The Heaven Lord said to himself. He had the same thought before, but it was instantly rejected. But now, the Heaven Lord was completely convinced by this conjecture. No matter what it was, as long as he killed Zhao Feng, everything would be resolved. He might even be able to obtain the power of Zhao Feng's eye. Boom! The Heaven Lord immediately unleashed his power, and the grayish-white hand swelled in power as it smashed down. Under this absolute power of the heavenly Tao, any power would be reduced to ashes. But Zhao Feng's dream origin energy still lingered around him, resisting this immense pressure. Illusion annihilation. Zhao Feng's left eye paused for a moment before once more turning. A dreamy film of light covered the grayish-white hand. A moment later, the grayish-white hand became somewhat more transparent. It was clear that the Heaven Lord's attack was much weaker. Heaven-shrouding primal chaos hand. At this moment, Zhao Feng was using a powerful primal chaos combat skill, and within the dream dimension, its power was peerless. Strengthen. He circulated his thought power, pouring out his dream origin energy. The power of the dark lightning hand soared once more, and although it couldn't compare to the grayish-white hand, it could not be underestimated. Boom! Bang! The two hands collided, causing a destructive storm to scatter. God Eye duplication. Zhao Feng grunted as his left eye began to turn. Boom! Dreamy light surged on Zhao Feng's body, forming an enormous eye. This form of existence was extremely similar to the grayish-white figure on the Heaven Lord's body. Suddenly, the eye unleashed a torrent of dreamy energy. A grayish-white hand emerged from this torrent of energy. No! It can even duplicate heavenly Tao energy? The Heaven Lord was stunned. He knew a little about Zhao Feng's duplication ability. He had never imagined that Zhao Feng could duplicate heavenly Tao energy. This was simply impossible. Boom! The grayish-white figure above the Heaven Lord's head thrust out a palm. The two identical palms clashed in the air, but a few moments later, the palm that Zhao Feng had duplicated shattered with a crack. Can't duplicate heavenly Tao energy completely? Zhao Feng muttered. In the end, heavenly Tao energy was too unique. He could not duplicate it completely. In the distant white warship, Lu Qinxin didn't have a very high cultivation level, but her destiny god eye allowed her to see everything. Feng's dream energy can fight against heavenly Tao energy. Lu Qinxin analyzed. As the owner of the destiny god eye, she was extremely interested in everything she did not know. Although neither Zhao Feng's dream energy nor heavenly Tao energy could completely suppress his opponent, in Lu Qinxin's view, Zhao Feng's dream energy was superior. At the very least, dream energy was a weak counter to heavenly Tao energy. For example, it could weaken heavenly Tao energy and duplicate a portion of it. But heavenly Tao energy seemed incapable of restraining dream energy. Boom! Bang! Crash! The battle between the Heaven Lord and Zhao Feng erupted once more, this time even more powerful than before. The two powerful forces fiercely clashed, creating shockwaves that swept across the entire ancient desolate realm of gods and even further away. Everything is restricted by the heavenly Tao. The Heaven Lord was furious. He could not forgive anyone else for being able to single-handedly fight against him. Heavenly Tao pillars! The Heaven Lord roared. The massive grayish-white figure brought its hands together and began to form a spell. Boom! 8 grayish-white pillars suddenly appeared in the air, their strange and ancient runes gleaming with a merciless and cold luster as they smashed down. The endless void was completely suppressed by heavenly Tao energy. The interior of these 8 pillars was like a prison of death that one could never escape from. Furthermore, the 8 pillars were still shrinking non-stop. What a powerful restriction! Zhao Feng's eyes dimmed. Other than his dream origin energy, his primal chaos energy and tribulation lightning energy had been weakened by 70 to 80%. But this did not mean that he had no other methods. God Eye duplication. Zhao Feng once more activated the dream pseudo-ancestral eye. A dreamy mist emerged from the eye above his head. Dreamy light rapidly flowed through the eye as if it was brewing something. Ordinary methods were useless in this situation. Zhao Feng's dream origin energy was rapidly being consumed. At the same time, boundless energy surged out of Zhao Feng's left eye, even stronger than before. Boom! Suddenly, the massive eye above Zhao Feng's body flew into the air, a massive dreamy figure gradually taking shape. This massive dreamy figure was extremely similar to the grayish-white figure on the Heaven Lord's body, as if they were of the same species. At this moment, a dreamy vortex appeared within the dreamy figure, and 8 grayish-white hands rushed out. Boom! Bang! 8 huge grayish-white hands flew in all directions and collided with the 8 pillars that propped up the sky. This is impossible. The Heaven Lord's body trembled. The dreamy figure unleashed by Zhao Feng's eye was extremely similar to the grayish-white figure on his body. The Heaven Lord was well aware that the grayish-white figure on his body was the figure of the ancient ancestor god that possessed the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. Could his eye be an ancestral eye? The Heaven Lord's eyes went wide in disbelief. There was another ancestral eye in the world besides the heavenly Tao ancestral eye? Power. Increase. Zhao Feng continued to activate the dream pseudo-ancestral eye. A layer of dreamy light appeared on the 8 huge gray claws. Then the entire palm was amplified by a mysterious power, becoming even more powerful. At this moment, Zhao Feng had not only blocked the Heaven Lord's attack, he even had the upper hand. Not good. His eye is getting stronger, and it's getting stronger at such a fast pace. The Heaven Lord suddenly realized something. When he first started fighting with Zhao Feng's eye had not yet reached the pseudo-ancestral eye level. Later on, the power it could display increased until it reached the level of the pseudo-ancestral eye, and now, it was able to condense a dreamy figure. The speed at which it was getting stronger was simply too fast. Not good. I need to get stronger. The Heaven Lord's expression darkened as he turned his gaze to the far right. Danger! The divine punishment god and the others suddenly felt their hairs stand on end. Retreat! The death god immediately began to flee. You're all mine. The Heaven Lord angrily roared, his body blinking several million li away as he closed in on the 5 god eyes. Die! The Heaven Lord's eyes were cold and emotionless, as if killing a few god-eye deities was a trivial matter. On the other side, Zhao Feng had also noticed the Heaven Lord's goal. The Heaven Lord could kill the 8 great god eyes and obtain their origins to continue getting stronger. If the Heaven Lord was allowed to kill the remaining god-eye deities, his strength would soar to an even more terrifying level. Not even the dream pseudo-ancestral eye would be a match for him. Get back here! Zhao Feng's left eye focused on the Heaven Lord, the dream pseudo-ancestral eye madly turning. The Heaven Lord's body was actually pushed back several li swish. The Heaven Lord retreated several more li, and in the blink of an eye he was far away from the 5 gods. You! The Heaven Lord's rage soared to the heavens. His body was actually moving backwards for no reason at all. This made him extremely speechless. He could only watch helplessly as the dish in his hand flew away. Chapter 1570. Zhao Feng's left eye was growing far too quickly. At the start, the Heaven Lord had the absolute advantage, and Zhao Feng had to use all his strength just to survive. But now, Zhao Feng was able to fight against the Heaven Lord and even counterattack. Scram! The Heaven Lord roared as he once more used his heavenly Tao God Eye's abilities. He instantly vanished as he approached the 5 God Eye deities. Don't even think about it. Zhao Feng roared as he activated his realization ability and flew toward the Heaven Lord. Intrusive dream. As the dream pseudo-ancestral eye activated, the dream dimension around him grew larger and more real. As Zhao Feng got close to the Heaven Lord, the dream dimension suddenly closed like a blooming flower, enveloping Zhao Feng and the Heaven Lord. Previously, Zhao Feng could only pull his enemies into the dream dimension by pulling on their consciousness. Now, Zhao Feng could use the dream dimension to swallow his enemies. Break for me! The Heaven Lord sensed danger, and his heavenly Tao God Eye began to burn. The gray-white figure became even more corporeal, and it spread its arms apart, unleashing terrifying heavenly Tao energy that could shatter everything. Bzzz. Boom. The entire dream dimension swayed, and cracks began to appear where the gray-white figure's palms had struck out. The dream dimension can't hold him? Zhao Feng's mind trembled. He had long ago guessed that this would happen, but heavenly Tao energy had always been absolute, making it very difficult for it to be trapped by another energy. Of course, Zhao Feng had only planned to trap the Heaven Lord for a while so that the God Eyes could escape. Even so, once the Heaven Lord leaves the dream dimension, it'll be even more difficult for me to stop him. Zhao Feng's expression was extremely grim as he began to think. The Heaven Lord was powerful, and Chen Changsheng could at most contend against him and counterattack. Stopping such an expert was rather difficult. For example, Zhao Feng's dream dimension was about to be destroyed by the Heaven Lord. In the shattered dream dimension, even if Zhao Feng could do whatever he wanted, he would find it difficult to kill the Heaven Lord. After all, the Heaven Lord had the ancient God Devil body, the Samsara immortal body, and the power of the life God Eye. Unless he was instantly erased, he would not die. Most importantly, the power of the heavenly Tao had an extremely strong resistance against the power of dreams. In addition, Zhao Feng's dream God Eye did not have offensive abilities. If he wanted to stop or defeat the Heaven Lord, he needed to have an even stronger offensive ability, or perhaps his left eye would have to be far stronger than the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye. Right? The ancient God Fiend body is related to the ancestral eye. Zhao Feng suddenly recalled what the God Lord had said. In addition, the ancient race's strength had a much stronger resistance to the power of the heavenly Tao than other strengths. If he could control this power and use the dream pseudo-ancestral eye to amplify it, his offensive power would greatly increase. God Eye duplication. As the dream dimension was about to shatter, Zhao Feng focused his left eye on the Heaven Lord's body. Whoosh, a dreamy wave of light pierced through the Heaven Lord's body, thoroughly analyzing the structure of his ancient race bloodline. Logically speaking, Zhao Feng should not have been able to duplicate the Heaven Lord's ancient race bloodline. After all, the Heaven Lord's ancient race bloodline was of an even higher level than a single God Eye. But the dream pseudo-ancestral eye could not be used according to common sense. Moreover, the dream dimension had yet to shatter. In the dream dimension, Zhao Feng's dream origin energy could be used to its fullest extent. God Eye duplication, realization, and control over the dream dimension, all three were combined. Buzz. BZZ. A thread of gold and silver blood suddenly surged out of the dreamy sea around Zhao Feng, exuding a bloodline energy that struck fear into all things. More and more of this blood seeped into Zhao Feng's body. On the other side, the Heaven Lord suddenly sensed the energy of the ancient race bloodline. What does he plan on doing? The Heaven Lord gave Zhao Feng a profound glare. There was no point in Zhao Feng creating the ancient race bloodline in the dream dimension. After all, when the dream shattered, everything in the dream would vanish. He had also studied the dream Tao. In the dream dimension, he could affect and kill his enemies, but the effects of the dream dimension could not change himself. Otherwise, if he imagined himself becoming a god, wouldn't he really become a god when he woke up? Ancient race. Zhao Feng bellowed, his bloodline gradually replaced by the ancient race bloodline. Boom! An aura of the desolate antiquity bloodline that could shake the heavens burst forth and soared into the sky along with the gold and silver turbulence. Zhao Feng's body grew 100 feet taller in this gold and silver light, becoming roughly the same height as the Heaven Lord. Break for me! The Heaven Lord coldly roared as he unleashed all his power. The entire dream space was instantly shattered by the heavenly Tao phantom, turning into countless fragments that scattered in all directions. Everything in the dream dimension vanished. But Zhao Feng's God Devil body still existed. How could this be? The Heaven Lord was flabbergasted, his mind in utter shock. Logically speaking, everything Zhao Feng had imagined should have vanished along with the dream dimension. Good. Zhao Feng rejoiced. The ancient race bloodline greatly increased his offensive power. Boom. Bang. He punched out, and a dim gold and silver divine light burst out. Stronger, stronger. The dream pseudo-ancestral eye activated, and dreamy light twisted on the golden silver fist. The fist suddenly grew in size, its power rising by several levels. Impossible! You have a fake ancient race bloodline. The Heaven Lord found it hard to believe, his face somewhat crazed as he also circulated his ancient race bloodline and punched. Boom! Bang! A deafening explosion shook the void. Before the huge explosion ended, There was another rumbling sound as the two of them collided. The ancient god-devil body has not only increased my offensive power, but also my defensive power. Previously, Zhao Feng had not dared to get too close to the Heaven Lord, but now that he had the ancient god-devil body and the unique power of the dream origin, what harm was there in getting close? Moreover, Zhao Feng realized that the ancient god-devil body truly did have a synergistic effect on his eye. In a few moments, both of them had become stronger. The dream pseudo-ancestral eye, which was constantly getting stronger, was transforming even faster. Boom! Bang! The world trembled as the Heaven Lord's tattered body was flung out of the chaotic storm. But a few moments later, his injuries were completely healed. Although his injuries were healed, a hint of panic appeared on the Heaven Lord's face. Heavenly Tao God's fury! A crazed expression appeared on the Heaven Lord's face, his Heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye madly spinning, Heavenly Tao energy burning. The gray-white figure on his body also erupted with gray-white flames, exuding a dreadful pressure that caused the entire fan universe to tremble. The Heaven Lord roared. The grayish-white shadow twisted and turned into balls of grayish-white divine light, charging forward. This was the strongest attack the Heaven Lord could unleash at the moment, and it was unleashed by burning a large amount of Heavenly Tao origin. Heaven-Earth Dream. Zhao Feng calmly activated the power of the dream pseudo-ancestral eye. With him as the center, a layer of dreamy colors spread out in all directions. Everything between heaven and earth became magnificent, like an illusory object that only existed in dreams. Boom boom boom. Terrifying balls of divine light pierced through the world, pierced through Zhao Feng's ancient god-devil body, and pierced through the dreamy figure. But Zhao Feng remained standing, completely unharmed. It was like everything in the world except for Zhao Feng was an illusion. Since it was an illusion, it naturally had no effect on Zhao Feng. As his eye awakened, Zhao Feng saw many scenes and understood some truths that no one else knew. This move was also recorded in his left eye, and it instantly turned everything around him into an illusion. It's over, Heaven Lord. Zhao Feng looked at the Heaven Lord and calmly said, "No." As he watched Zhao Feng walk over, the Heaven Lord turned in fear and fled. "Stay!" Zhao Feng roared, his ancient race and dream pseudo-ancestral eye circulating their power as he unleashed a terrifying attack. The Heaven Lord had been fighting for so long that his Heavenly Tao origin was almost completely exhausted. That attack from before had consumed an enormous amount of energy. In this battle, he was now on the back foot and no longer a match for Zhao Feng. "Zhao Feng, you can't kill me. Let's reconcile." The Heaven Lord roared, but he still fled as quickly as he could. "Impossible." Zhao Feng's expression was cold and indifferent. Through the memories sealed in his left eye, Zhao Feng understood many things. The power of the 8 great god eyes supported the laws and order of the fan universe, and the Heaven Lord's goal was to leave this dimension. Once he took away the power of the 8 great god eyes, the entire fan universe would truly be destroyed. Bang! Every time Zhao Feng got close to the Heaven Lord, he would launch a fierce attack to weaken the Heaven Lord's Heavenly Tao energy. This pursuit didn't last long, but the two of them soon covered more than half of the ancient desolate realm of gods. "It's all destroyed?" Zhao Feng glanced down. The battle between the two pseudo-ancestral eyes had caused the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to fall apart. Even the outer dimension outside the ancient desolate realm of gods seemed to be affected. Zhao Feng couldn't help but think of the continent zone and the azure flower continent. "Let's end this." The energy of Zhao Feng's left eye was getting stronger and stronger, even surpassing the Heaven Lord's pseudo-ancestral eye. With a wave of his hand, a dreamy ball floated out. "No." The Heaven Lord's body trembled as he screamed in fear. But he was extremely weak at this moment, and Zhao Feng was even stronger, so much so that he couldn't fight back. He couldn't dodge this attack. Bzz. The dreamy ball engulfed the Heaven Lord, and no matter how he struggled, he couldn't escape. "Zhao Feng, let me live. I'm willing to give up on the Heavenly Tao ancestral eye. Moreover, your left eye is the ancestral eye. You are an invincible existence, and nothing can threaten you." The Heaven Lord implored. He was now sure that Zhao Feng's left eye was the ancestral eye. This was the only way to explain how Zhao Feng's left eye could grow stronger so rapidly. At its peak, the left eye was an ancestral eye, and now, it was on the verge of fully awakening. The Heaven Lord was forced to admit that he had failed. He hadn't expected that there was another ancestral eye besides the heavenly Tao ancestral eye he had discovered. Zhao Feng's expression was calm and emotionless. Just as the Heaven Lord said, his left eye truly was the ancestral eye. At this moment, whoosh! In the distance, a dilapidated silver warship sailed over, and a tall old man slowly walked out of it. Tianwu. The Heaven Lord looked at Yu Tianshu with a complicated expression. Tianshu, you failed. Yu Tianwu looked at the Heaven Lord and sighed. Chapter 1571. That's right, we failed. The Heaven Lord had a dazed expression as he fell into deep thought. Back then, the Heaven's legacy race had mistakenly entered this world and been trapped here, unable to leave. The Heaven's legacy race's goal had always been to leave this place, but there were two ways to leave, leading to a disagreement. The Heaven-defying faction advocated finding the strongest power in this world and taking away all the resources of this world. The Sage faction's plan was to peacefully reside here and wait for an opportunity. The two factions could not be considered enemies. In fact, they could even be considered old acquaintances. It was just that they had chosen different paths and were trying to achieve their goals. The Heaven Lord had always believed that his method was correct, that he could lead the Heaven's legacy race out of this place. But in the end he failed. Zhao Feng, give him a chance to live. Yu Tianwu suddenly said. What? The Heaven Lord was flabbergasted. He hadn't expected Yu Tianwu to plead for him at a time like this. However, the two of them had been geniuses of the Heaven's legacy race and had an extremely close relationship. However, they had different ideas, and in order to prove their ideas, they had parted ways. Zhao Feng said nothing. He could not forgive the Heaven Lord's actions. The battle between the two pseudo-ancestral eyes had caused the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to crumble, and the outer dimensions had also been affected. Other than that, the entire fan universe's space was filled with holes and was severely damaged. Because of this great battle, the number of people that died was innumerable. Zhao Feng, your eye should be another ancestral eye. If you can obtain some of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye's power, this world can still be saved. Yu Tianwu continued. The heavenly Tao ancestral eye clearly did not match Zhao Feng's eye, so Yu Tianwu was sure that they were two completely different ancestral eyes. The abilities of these two ancestral eyes were different, but they were both extremely heaven-defying. If Zhao Feng's eye could completely grow to the ancestral eye level, it might be able to repair the ancient desolate realm of gods. And the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye also had the ability of the Samsara God Eye. It might even be able to revive many of the people who had died in this battle. Fine, I promise you. I'll spare his life as returning the favor. After thinking for a long time, Zhao Feng agreed. Back in the Azure Flower continent, Yu Tianwu had met Zhao Feng and helped Zhao Feng time and time again. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for Zhao Feng to reach his current level. Therefore, he agreed to Yu Tianwu's request this time. What? The Heavenly Lord was shocked once more. Zhao Feng had actually agreed? I will try to send you out of this place. Zhao Feng said again. Although he had promised not to kill Yu Tianwu, he still wanted to send this person away. Within the memories of the Dream Ancestral Eye. The Dream Ancestral Eye and the Heavenly Law Ancestral Eye were the two strongest powers of the fan universe. It was the existence of these two powers that allowed the entire fan universe to operate smoothly. When Zhao Feng's eye fully awakened to the ancestral eye level, when he obtained heavenly Tao energy, he might be able to allow the Heaven's legacy race to leave this place. Thanks a lot. Yu Tianwu revealed a kind smile. If Zhao Feng could do this, it would prove that the Sage faction's method was correct and that he would be able to lead the Heaven's legacy race out of the fan universe. Of course, none of that mattered. Zhao Feng, you win. Can you tell me the origins of your ancestral eye? The Heaven Lord's expression turned indifferent, and then a sharp light appeared in his eyes. In the end, the Heaven's Legacy race was an intelligent race that had a powerful desire to explore the unknown. I only just learned of this. Zhao Feng took in a deep breath. The awakening of his eye was not just accompanied by a powerful increase in strength. The unknown truth gradually emerged in Zhao Feng's mind. At the birth of the fan universe, there was only one continent called the Savage Continent. There were many powerful existences on this continent, and there were even powerful races that did not exist on the 10,000 ancient races ranking. However, the strongest race was still the ancient race, the hegemon of the Savage Continent. As for why the ancient race was so powerful, in the eyes of ordinary people, it was because the ancient race bloodline was so powerful that no one could compare to it. In truth, the ancient race had two ancient ancestor gods that no one knew about. These two ancestor gods were the divine transformation of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye and the dream ancestral eye. They controlled the entire fan universe and were kings amongst gods. However, one mountain could not hold two tigers. Because of these two ancient ancestor gods, the ancient race began to splinter, resulting in a great war between gods and demons. In this war, all the races of the Savage Continent participated, and in the end, even the two ancient ancestor gods took part. The two ancient ancestor gods were so powerful that they shattered the entire Savage Continent into trillions of specks of dust, forcing the fan universe to expand. No one knew about the battle between the two ancient ancestor gods, but the memories left behind in the dream ancestral eye allowed Zhao Feng to know everything and just how terrifying that battle had been. In that battle, the entire Savage Continent was shattered. In comparison, the battle between Zhao Feng and the Heaven Lord was much less destructive. In that battle, the two ancient ancestor gods, who were of similar strength, both died. The heavenly Tao ancestral god's ancestral eye split into 8, becoming the 8 great god eyes. As for the dream ancestral god, he left behind a complete eye that fell on a speck of dust, the azure flower continent. So this world originally had 2 ancestral eyes. The Heaven Lord faintly smiled. The riddle that had troubled him had finally been solved. Why had the heavenly Tao ancestral eye split into 8? It could be said that it had been caused by the dream ancestral eye. Why had his plan to fuse with the heavenly Tao god eye been completed long before he had obtained Zhao Feng's blood? This was because Zhao Feng had the dream ancestral eye. Under the influence of the dream illusion ancestral eye, Zhao Feng still had traces of the ancestral eye's energy. Handed over, heavenly Tao energy. Zhao Feng extended a hand. The Heaven Lord nodded and cooperated. His goal was to leave this world, but before he left, he wanted to obtain the strongest power of this world and take everything of value with him. But in the end he failed. Now that the god of this world was willing to forgive him, the Heaven Lord had nothing to say and could only cooperate. The strands of gray-white light flew out of the Heaven Lord's forehead, entering Zhao Feng's palm and flowing into his body. His left eye was the dream ancestral eye. If this supreme energy existed with another energy, there was no telling what would happen. For this reason, Zhao Feng sealed the heavenly Tao energy in his right eye. Gradually, Zhao Feng's right eye began to change. It became dim, gray-white, and emotionless. Anyone who looked at it would feel dread. In comparison, Zhao Feng's left eye was dazzlingly beautiful, like the most beautiful color in the world. A few moments later, the eye on the Heaven Lord's forehead vanished. At the same time, at a certain place in the ancient desolate realm of gods, space-time, death, divine punishment, and myriad forms god eyes stood in the air. Just who won? The divine punishment god's expression turned even more solemn. As the Heaven Lord and Zhao Feng battled, the entire ancient desolate realm of gods and even the fan universe was trembling. The ancient desolate realm of gods was constantly shattering and spreading outwards. But suddenly, the trembling stopped, indicating that the battle was over. The other god-eye deities and the gods and god-kings of the ancient desolate realm of gods all stared at the chaotic void, wanting to know the outcome of this battle. At this moment, the destiny god-eye Lu Qinxin sent a message. The 4 god-eye deities finally relaxed and breathed sighs of relief. At the same time, the news began to spread. The heaven-defying faction had lost. On the other side, the Heaven Lord had completely lost his heavenly Tao energy. Zhao Feng stood in the air, his body exuding an intimidating aura that forced others to retreat. Heavenly Tao energy and dream energy were both God energies that far surpassed any other energy in the fan universe. These two forces were also mutually reinforcing each other. The two eyes were getting stronger and stronger, and the energy exuded by Zhao Feng once more caused the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to tremble. Let's get away from here. This energy is too strong. Yu Tianwu and the Heaven Lord returned to the White Warship. These two supreme energies were too powerful. Zhao Feng would probably find it difficult to control them at the start and would probably need some time. There shouldn't be any problems. Yu Tianwu muttered. For some reason, he felt a little uneasy. The source of this unease seemed to be that legend. Once the supreme ancestral eye was opened, all things in the world would disappear. Now that he thought about it, this shouldn't be possible. After all, the fan universe already had two ancient ancestral gods. Feng. Lu Qinxin gave Zhao Feng a deep glance before following the warship into the distance. What power! Zhao Feng closed his eyes and sensed the boundless energy in his body. The dream ancestral eye had awakened so quickly that it had reached an unimaginable level. Suddenly, Zhao Feng sensed that the growth of the dream pseudo-ancestral eye had stopped. Of course, the heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye, stimulated by the dream ancestral eye, had far surpassed the Heaven Lord's level. With this power, I can definitely help the Heaven's legacy race leave this place. Zhao Feng smiled and opened his eyes. Suddenly, broom. The world in Zhao Feng's eyes fiercely shuddered, an indescribably dangerous energy filling the air. Everything began to crumble. With a sweep of his divine sense, the situation of more than half of the ancient desolate realm of gods appeared in his mind. But the entire ancient desolate realm of gods was crumbling and disappearing. Space was being torn apart everywhere, destroying everything. The entire dimension itself seemed to be in the midst of destruction. All living beings were instantly killed, including god lords, god kings, and even gods. Qinxin. Zhao Feng suddenly called out. The nearby white warship was also engulfed by this destructive danger. At the last moment, Lu Qinxin had taken out the Fan Luan ancient sound palace, the supreme ancestral artifact of the destiny god Eye. But even the ancestral artifact was shattered. No. What's going on? Zhao Feng's face was filled with panic, and fear gradually appeared on his face. A few moments later, the entire world was destroyed. The ancient desolate realm of gods vanished. The outer realm vanished without a trace. Everyone else had vanished, leaving only Zhao Feng. Could it be that this is my fault? Zhao Feng stood in a daze. At this moment, he thought of that legend. Could it be that the complete awakening of the dream ancestral eye had caused the destruction of the entire world? The entire world was thrown into chaos and emptiness. Destructive storms continued to spread, and terrifying energy filled every corner of the world. Just when Zhao Feng was about to give up and lose his soul. There's still someone else? An elderly and indistinct voice indistinctly spoke, but it was clear and penetrated the soul. Chapter 1572. Who's there? The disheartened Zhao Feng's body shook as if he had seen a ray of light in the darkness. However, the world around him was dark and empty. There was no sign of life, so where had that voice come from? In his senses, the entire space was filled with endless gray turbulence. There was no end to it. In this place, all color and power seemed to have lost their meaning. Zhao Feng felt that the dimensions of time and space were all mixed together. It was very difficult to find a point of reference. Could it be that this was the legendary chaos before the beginning of the world? Who's there? I should be the one asking you this question. The hazy voice had a trace of laziness that came from someone who had just woken up, but it also had a primitive and ancient aura. It was impossible to estimate the strength of this aura, but it seemed to contain everything. It also seemed to come from an endless illusion. Furthermore, this aura made his dream ancestral eye feel a sense of familiarity. Whoosh! The nearby primal chaos space actually began to ripple under that aura. What kind of existence is this? Zhao Feng was stunned. Even with the power of 2 ancestral eyes, he couldn't estimate the true existence of this aura. Suddenly, the gray streams of primal chaos in the surrounding space started to move. In silence, an enormous tattered face formed in front of Zhao Feng like smoke. Only a simple outline of the tattered face could be seen, but it gave Zhao Feng a faint pressure like the sky of a world. This is... Zhao Feng felt his ancestral eyes twitch. The familiar feeling from before was getting stronger and stronger. That feeling was like an orphan who was connected by blood, and one day, he would meet his birth mother. You actually have my power source in your body. The enormous face revealed a shocked expression as it stared at Zhao Feng's ancestral eyes. After sensing for a long time, it suddenly let out a long sigh. It then fell into a long silence as if it was remembering something. After a long time, "Senior, who are you?" Zhao Feng couldn't help but ask, what happened to the fan universe that disappeared? Gone. Everything was gone. The entire fan universe, including the God Realm, the continent zone, the Azure Flower continent, everything he knew vanished into thin air. Parents, Yufei. Standing in this chaotic and primitive space, Zhao Feng felt a strong sense of desolation and loneliness. He needed an answer. After a long time, the face finally spoke. I remember now. Zhao Feng stared at the giant face with his ancestral eye. I didn't expect that I could wake up again. The huge face in the void muttered to itself. Although Zhao Feng couldn't see the other party's expression clearly, he could sense the other party's emotions. He didn't mean any harm to him, and there was an inexplicable complexity in the formless gaze. I come from the destroyed Brahma Great World. My name is Fangu. Kid, what's your name? A moment later, he looked at Zhao Feng again and smiled. This junior is Zhao Feng, from the fan universe that had just been destroyed. Zhao Feng replied. You must be very vexed and depressed by your current situation. Brahma seemed to suddenly know everything, appearing calm and wise. Senior, please enlighten me. Zhao Feng suppressed the urgency in his heart. There was nothing left in the fan universe. Everything had disappeared, leaving only him. No, there seemed to be one more person. Even so, Zhao Feng still felt lost and empty. Then let me start from the beginning. My name is Fangu, and I am a creator-level existence in this primal chaos dimension. In an unprecedented battle of the same level, although I managed to kill my opponent, I was basically killed. All that was left of me was a remnant will and essence energy. Brahma sank into his memories and slowly narrated some things to Zhao Feng. But from the first words Brahma said, Zhao Feng found it strange. Creator level? He had never heard of such a realm. I've remembered everything about the fan universe that you were in. The fallen ancestor gods of the fan universe are considered world-class experts in the primal chaos dimension. The face slowly narrated. Ancestor god? World-class? Then what about god kings and rulers? The more Zhao Feng listened, the more shocked he became. Rulers are at most half-world-class experts. World-class experts are invincible existences in a greater world. They can surpass a greater world and traverse the primal chaos dimension. Above the world class is the creator level. They often have the ability to split apart the world and create all things. The face answered Zhao Feng's doubts. The strongest ruler of the god realm was only considered half-world class? Only the ancestor gods of the primeval war could barely be considered world class. And this face's predecessor was at the even higher creator level. How terrifying would a creator-level battle be? It had to be known that a battle between pseudo-ancestral eyes could shatter the world. And a world-class battle could destroy a greater world like the fan universe. Such a great battle had basically killed Fangu. All that was left of him was a strand of his will and origin energy. What's going on with the fan universe? Zhao Feng had a vague answer. The legend related to the ancestral eye. When my true body was alive, I was born of the primal chaos Great Tao, but I took a different path and created the dream Great Tao. The remnant dream origin energy is extremely special. It has the ability to turn dreams into reality and create all things with a single dream, far surpassing the average creator-level expert. The face's voice was tinged with pride. Dream origin energy? Could this be my own dream ancestral eye? Zhao Feng speculated. Dream into reality was the ultimate ideal realm of the illusion Tao. It could turn all illusory existences into reality. The ability to turn dreams into reality that he had once used was probably a tiny manifestation of dream into reality. However, Fangu's dream Great Tao could even create all things with a single dream, allowing him to suppress other creator-level experts. After my true body died, the remnant wisps of dream origin energy still subconsciously created worlds after losing their master and even attempted to recover. Through dream creation, I recovered my energy. The face paused and looked at Zhao Feng. Dream creation? Could it be that the fan universe was formed in this way? Zhao Feng's body shook as he blurted out. In other words, everything in the fan universe was just a dream, subconsciously created by the residual power of a creator-level, almighty expert after his death. If that was really the case. So, in this dream, everything that happened, was it real or fake? If it was fake, then what was Zhao Feng now? If it was real, then where had everything in the fan universe and everyone that Zhao Feng knew disappeared to? That's right, it was a dream. The face's words confirmed Zhao Feng's guess. Chapter 1573. That's right, it's just a dream. The face's words caused Zhao Feng's heart to sink. This was a reality that he had realized long ago, but he could not accept. And yet, if the entire fan universe was just a dream, then what was he? Why did he still exist when everyone else had disappeared? As for why you can still exist, it is because you have inherited my Fangu's source of power. The face continued. I would rather not have this power. Zhao Feng's complexion was wretched, almost as if he had lost his soul. At this moment, he already knew the truth of everything. If his dream ancestral eye did not fully awaken, then this dream world would continue to exist. Once the ancestral eye awakened, the world would disappear. And with it, everything that Zhao Feng had grown up with, his closest kin, his most beloved, everything that he had once been familiar with. This world is but a subconscious creation of the power that you and I possess. Now that you have inherited this power, you will be the ancestor of illusion. Compared to the original world, you will be the king of sovereigns, able to save everything. Fangu knew what Zhao Feng was thinking, and he smiled instead. What should I do? Zhao Feng was overjoyed, as if he had grasped at a life-saving straw. Fangu sighed. As long as you inherit my remnant will and everything else, you will know when the time comes. Zhao Feng was stunned. If he inherited everything that Fangu had, then the Fangu of the past would essentially disappear. Would Fangu's remnant will be willing to help him? I don't know how long I've been asleep. Although I've awakened, there is still no possibility of rebuilding me. And the end might be a new beginning. If you are willing, I will entrust everything to you. Fangu slowly said. To him, this awakening was already an accident within an accident. The entire fan universe was formed from the remnant power of his main body. And as a member of the original fan universe, Zhao Feng had inherited the source of the dream world. From a certain perspective, it could be said that Zhao Feng was the reborn Fangu, a continuation of Fangu. Many thanks for Senior's help. Zhao Feng cupped his fists in thanks. If he could save everything, he was willing to do anything. All right then. Fangu let out a long sigh, feeling a sense of release. This remnant of his will was about to reach its end and enter a new continuation. What? In the next moment, the huge, illusory face turned into an invisible mist that flowed into Zhao Feng's eyes. Most of them fused into the dream ancestral eye. The origin of dreams was the fundamental source of Fangu's fame as a creation-level expert. In the dusky world, everything was blurry. There seemed to be no space and no time. In a certain corner of the chaos world, a young man was like an ancient stone statue that had experienced boundless vicissitudes of life, and he stood motionlessly amidst the chaos. After an unknown period of time, the young man opened his eyes. There was no aura on his body. He was like an ordinary person, but he was safe and sound in such a dangerous world. At a certain moment, the young man opened his eyes and a look of understanding appeared on his face. At this time, he had already inherited everything of the original Fan Gu. The current him could be said to be Zhao Feng. It could also be said to be the new continuation of Fan Gu's death. Compared to the original Fan universe, after countless billions of years, he had finally recovered the majority of his creation-level strength. However, although Zhao Feng had inherited everything of Fan Gu, the most important thing to him was still the original Fan universe. Broken mirror reunites, dream realm reconstructs, one dream to create all things. Zhao Feng muttered. His left eye glowed with a boundless dreamy light while his right eye flashed with a cold gray-white light. Then he closed his eyes once more. Swish! In a flash, a vast dream realm began to take shape. Within the dream realm was a complete space, like a creation of primordial chaos. It constantly twisted and distorted, gradually forming an image. This was the scene of the world before its destruction. Come back! Zhao Feng's dual ancestral eyes surged with nearly limitless origin energies. The dream ancestral eye represented Fan Gu's creation-level foundation. The heavenly law ancestral eye represented Fan Gu's understanding of the original great Tao of primordial chaos and his use of origin of dreams. With these two origins, Zhao Feng had the ability to travel between the illusory and the real world. After some time, Zhao Feng suddenly opened his eyes. The entire world had changed. The ancient desolate realm of gods was in tatters, countless civilizations had been destroyed, countless lives had died in the chaos. But to Zhao Feng, this was a sight that made him extremely excited. In the distance, within the departing white warship, Yu Tianwu, the Heaven Lord, and Lu Qinxin froze in confusion. And the billions of living beings in the Fan universe instinctively froze. For some reason, in that moment, they felt like they had just passed through the gates of hell. Now, I just need to repair this world. Zhao Feng closed his eyes once more. Within the Fan universe, the Earth was reconnected and the cracks in space healed. The Fan universe was experiencing a world-shaking phenomenon that left everyone gasping in shock. All of this could be called a miracle. There were even rumors that the supreme god of this world had awakened and had turned into a savior to save them. Not only that, the life god, the samsara god, and the other fallen gods had all been resurrected. The 8 great god eyes represent the order of the heavenly Tao and can stabilize the Fan universe. Zhao Feng muttered. After inheriting Fan Gu's will, his understanding of the great Tao and energy had reached new heights. In the Sage faction's secret base, the top floor of the 6-sided tower, Zhao Feng, are you confident that you can send us out of this illusory world? The Heaven Lord excitedly asked. I am. But only those with the complete Heaven's legacy race bloodline can leave this place. Zhao Feng calmly and confidently replied. An illusory world? It could be described as such. Everything in this world had yin and yang, real and illusory. To the world born from the primal chaos origin realm, he was real while everything in the Fan universe was fake. And to the Fan universe, he was real while the living beings of the primal chaos origin realm were illusory and dreamlike existences. These were two opposing dimensions. To any side, the opposing side was fake. Only oneself was real. Of course. After all, if an illusory thing ran into the opposing real world, it was very likely that it would disappear. Unless it was someone like Zhao Feng, who had already become the ancestor of illusions and could pass through the illusory and real worlds. However, the Heaven's legacy race was a race from beyond this world, so they could be considered an exception. If a member of the Heaven's legacy race was born in this world and did not possess the complete Heaven's legacy race bloodline, they might not be able to leave. The leaders of the Heaven-defying faction and Sage faction nodded and fell into deep thought. Both of them undoubtedly had the complete Heaven's legacy race bloodline, but there were many members of their race who did not. Zhao Feng, give us some time. The two said at the same time. The continent zone. a man and two women suddenly descended. The man was extremely handsome and had an otherworldly aura, while the two women were even more stunning. Anyone who saw their faces would be struck dumb for a few moments. "We're back here." Zhao Yufei sweetly smiled, her beautiful eyes gazing into the distance as she took in this once incomparably familiar place. "Let's go." "This is not our destination," Zhao Feng said. "Where to?" Zhao Yufei asked. "You're all mine now. Shouldn't you go see my parents?" An evil smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. He was enjoying everything that was happening right now. Annoying. Zhao Yufei rolled her eyes at Zhao Feng, her face blushing. Lu Qingxin sweetly smiled. She said nothing, but her heart was filled with warmth. Within the territory of the Broken Moon clan, in an unworldly place, "Father, Mother, I'm back." A familiar voice came from outside the door. Before seeing his parents, Zhao Feng still changed his appearance back to his original appearance. Within the room, a muscular middle-aged man and a gentle and refined woman were startled. "Feng, is it really you?" His mother, Zhao Clan, immediately came forward and held Zhao Feng's hand while the other couldn't help but touch Zhao Feng's face. This was the longest time Zhao Feng had left his home. Although it was a short time for sovereigns, it was a long time for Zhao Feng's parents. "These two girls are?" His father, Zhao Ninyang, was slightly surprised as he looked at the girls on both sides of Zhao Feng. "This is Zhao Yufei. I've mentioned her to you before. This is Lu Qingxin." The three entered the room and Zhao Feng slowly spoke. His mother, Zhao Clan, had a joyful smile on her face. After listening for a while, she went to prepare food. Soon, a table of delicious food was served. The family chatted as they ate. It was a happy, harmonious, and heartwarming scene. Just like this, Zhao Feng, Lu Qingxin, and Zhao Yufei lived here for a short period of time. 10 years later, Zhao Feng took the two girls and left. In the boundless void of the ancient desolate realm of gods, a strangely shaped flying ship floated. "Zhao Feng, I've troubled you." Yu Tianwu found it difficult to conceal his joy as he thanked Zhao Feng. "Zhao Feng, what are your plans for the future?" The Heaven Lord was very interested in Zhao Feng's current existence. Zhao Feng was already the strongest expert of this world. He stood above gods and could be considered the king of gods. "I should be staying here for a while. Once I've stayed here long enough, I'll think of a way to take Qingxin and Yufei on a trip to the so-called real world." Zhao Feng smiled and said, "I believe that you can go to the outside world, but the Heaven Lord slightly shook his head in disbelief. Compared to the physical world, everything in this world was an illusory dream. Beings born from a dream would vanish once they left the dream. In this way, how would Lu Qingxin and Zhao Yufei travel to the outside world? Heh! Zhao Feng gave a mysterious smile. He possessed both the heavenly Tao and dream origin, and he had inherited some of Fan Gu's memories. "Zhao Feng, we bid farewell." Yu Tianwu sighed as he waved goodbye to Zhao Feng, Lu Qingxin, and the others. Zhao Feng had a fairly good understanding of the Heaven's Legacy race's fate. The Heaven's Legacy race's world had been destroyed. Under the leadership of a world-class expert, they had managed with great difficulty to escape this world and enter the primal chaos. But along the way, due to an accident, their race had been scattered. One group had mistakenly entered Fan Gu's dream dimension. In this dream dimension, even ordinary world-class experts would find it very difficult to escape. "Okay, I'll send you off," Zhao Feng sternly said. Before leaving, he had used the origin energy of the dream dimension to duplicate a heaven-mending race body for Yu Tianwu so that he could travel through the primal chaos dimension. Buzz. BZZ. Space twisted, and a dark and twisted passage gradually took shape. Yu Tianwu, the Heaven Lord, and a few other members of the Heaven's Legacy race rode a special teleportation tool and vanished. "Brother Feng, when will we be able to travel to the other side's world?" Zhao Yufei gave a mischievous smile, her eyes brimming with curiosity. On the side, Lu Qingxin also had a yearning look on her face. So, Zhao Feng smiled as he embraced the two women. He had long since made plans for when he would travel to the outside world. End of story. Chapter 1574. There had always been a legend in the fan universe. The gathering of the 8 great ancestral eyes could summon the supreme ancestral eye, but once the supreme ancestral eye opened, all things in the world would vanish. But gradually, this legend was forgotten, and another legend began to spread through the ancient desolate realm of gods. The fan universe had a king of sovereigns. No matter what disaster the fan universe faced, this king of sovereigns would definitely save them. 100 years had passed since the last calamity of the ancient desolate realm. The fan universe was even more stable now, and the grudges between the 8 great god eyes had been worn down by that battle. At most, there were only a few minor conflicts. A man and 2 women stood in the pitch-black void. "Let's go and see the outside world." Zhao Feng embraced the 2 women, a hopeful smile on his face. Now that the ancient desolate realm of gods was on the right track, he could leave in peace. However, to the outside world, everything in the fan universe was illusory. If Lu Qinxin and Zhao Yufei just entered another world, they would probably disappear. But Zhao Feng had long ago thought of a way. After inheriting Fangu's power, he was now equivalent to a creation-level expert. "Let's go!" Zhao Yufei was rather excited. She was extremely interested in the unknown and novel world. Lu Qinxin faintly smiled and silently gazed at Zhao Feng. As long as she could be with him, it didn't matter where she went. As Lu Qinxin was preparing to leave this world, she had long ago chosen a successor and entrusted her destiny origin to it. Meow meow. The little thieving cat's eyes shone as if it wanted to dig up the treasures of this new world. Yes, the little thieving cat was also unwilling to stay in the fan universe and wanted to leave with Zhao Feng. "I will use the law of samsara to revive you. It won't be long before we meet again," Zhao Feng earnestly said. This was his method. He would have the souls of the 2 women and the little thieving cat enter the cycle of reincarnation in the outside world to be reborn. By doing this, he would be transforming them into real life forms from another world. Zhao Feng was somewhat reluctant to part with them, but it was just reincarnation. They would soon meet again. "I don't know much about the reincarnation path of the outside world. Little thieving cat, don't blame me if you reincarnate into a human." Zhao Feng suddenly chuckled. If one day, a person suddenly regained the memories of their previous life and found out that they were a cat in their previous life, they would definitely not be able to accept it. Meow meow, the little thieving cat's expression changed slightly as it gestured unwillingly. In a cat's worldview, cats were the most handsome, and it still hoped to go to the new world to find its favorite cat. It definitely didn't want to be reincarnated as a human. "Let's go." Zhao Feng opened his eyes. His left eye was Dream, and his right eye was Heavenly Tao. An extremely powerful and obscure energy was emitted, surging into the void, gradually forming a dark and distorted tunnel with no end in sight. Whoosh, the group entered the passageway. Soon, a speck of light appeared in the endless dark tunnel. After entering the new world, Zhao Feng scanned it with his creation-level divine sense. He discovered that this world was recorded in Fangu's memory fragments. All right, phaseless world. After confirming that this was the world, Zhao Feng revolved his dream energy and entered the phaseless world's hell samsara level. After understanding this place, Zhao Feng began to choose a place to reincarnate, and then he had the 2 women and 1 cat reincarnate. Zhao Feng was rather careful. If he really reincarnated into the wrong place, the consequences would be too horrible to look at. He fixed the area where the 2 women and 1 cat reincarnated into a very small area, and he left a dream mark on their bodies so that he could find them in the future. Soon after, Zhao Feng also chose a place to reincarnate and then reincarnated. Since this was a new world, he had to start anew. After Lu Qinxin and the others were reincarnated, they needed time to grow, and they could not immediately regain the memories of their previous lives. Thus, Zhao Feng also chose to reincarnate and accompany them as they grew. The deepest thing in the world was not a pledge of eternal love, not an unforgettable memory. It was companionship. The phaseless world. After an unknown period of time, Zhao Feng regained a sliver of consciousness. Gradually, countless memory fragments began to appear in his mind. After a long time, Zhao Feng recalled everything. New world, I'm coming. Zhao Feng's heart was filled with anticipation. He was different from Lu Qinxin, Zhao Yufei, and the little thieving cat. He had inherited Fangu's strength, so he was a true existence in this new world. Thus, he was able to retain his most fundamental strength and memories. However, Zhao Feng's consciousness did not last long before he grew tired and unknowingly fell asleep. Thinking about it, he was still in his mother's womb, so Zhao Feng couldn't be bothered to care too much. He woke up and slept and woke. Until one day he felt a pinching pain and couldn't help but cry out. But to outsiders, it was the clear and resounding cry of a baby. Zhao Feng examined the room's decorations and maids. It seemed that he hadn't made a mistake. At this time, a beautiful woman pried open his legs and cried out in pleasant surprise, "It's young master, it's young master." Zhao Feng was a little embarrassed, but he didn't care. Not long after, a middle-aged man wearing a brown robe rushed into the room and immediately picked up the infant, his determined eyes shining with love. "What should I, Zhao Donlong, name my son?" The middle-aged man carried the baby and came to the bedside. He gently stroked the sweaty woman on the bed and began to discuss their son's name. "Also surnamed Zhao? Then let's use his original name." Zhao Feng used the dream Dao energy in his soul to influence the brown-clothed man's thoughts. "How about we call him Zhao Feng?" A thought suddenly surfaced in Zhao Tianlong's mind. "Okay, we'll call him Zhao Feng. The beautiful woman gave a loving smile. News of Zhao Feng's birth quickly spread throughout South Cloud City. This was because his father was the patriarch of the Zhao clan and the city lord of South Cloud City. Time passed, and the city lord's second son, Zhao Feng, was now 7 years old. As a descendant of the Zhao clan, one was bound to embark on the path of cultivation, and Zhao Feng was no exception. The descendants of the Zhao clan were taught by experts and received the best cultivation education. Ordinary families did not have this. However, Zhao Feng hadn't even been here for 3 days before he skipped classes. In truth, Zhao Feng had memorized all the knowledge in a single day. On the second and third days, he only needed to cultivate a little to reach the 7th heaven of the Ascendant Spirit Realm, the equivalent of the 7th heaven of ascended mortality in the ancient desolate realm of gods. If Zhao Feng really wanted to break through, it wouldn't take long for him to regain his creator-level cultivation and become a figure that could make the entire Alakshasa realm tremble. But none of this meant anything to Zhao Feng. He was just a little interested in the cultivation system of this world, so he had cultivated a little. There were tens of thousands of worlds, and their cultivation systems were roughly the same. However, Zhao Feng discovered that the cultivation systems of other worlds were more complete and demanding. In other words, the experts of the Alakshasa realm could crush those of the Fan universe at the same level. Of course, Zhao Feng was not interested in any of this. He wanted to leisurely pass his days. After a while, he would go search for Lu Qinxin, Zhao Yufei, and the thieving cat. As the second son of the city lord, Zhao Feng was extremely talented in cultivation, so he naturally received a great deal of attention. He skipped school every 2 or 3 days, never cultivated, and was lazy and slippery. These scandals quickly spread throughout South Cloud City, and the more they spread, the more outrageous they became. In the eyes of the majority of the people of South Cloud City, Zhao Feng was destined to become a notorious hedonistic young master. The other great clans of South Cloud City were overjoyed by this development. Even the factions within the Zhao clan that were competing with the city lord were delighted. Of course, it wasn't that Zhao Feng didn't know how to do anything. The path of cultivation was not very interesting to him, but he was very interested in other areas. For example, refining pills, forging artifacts, forging arrays, mechanisms, puppets, and so on. In his last life, Zhao Feng had been rather talented in these areas, but he had been too busy cultivating to care about these things. One day, Zhao Feng spent half the day studying arrays in a pavilion before taking a nap. At this moment, 2 richly dressed youths arrived. Upon seeing Zhao Feng, they disdainfully smiled. These 2 were the youngest sons of his big uncle and second uncle, and their cultivation talents were among the best in the clan. "Brother Feng, quickly go to the martial arts field. Instructor Lin said that if you don't go, he'll definitely report this matter to the city lord. Instructor Lin also said that no matter what, even if we have to tie you up, we have to bring you over. Zhao Yun and Zhao Hai spoke with great difficulty, gradually approaching Zhao Feng as if they wanted to invite him over. Although they were just children, it was in their nature for the strong to bully the weak. Tie me up? Zhao Feng raised an eyebrow and took out a whip weapon from his spatial storage. Taking a step forward, Zhao Feng's figure passed between Zhao Yun and Zhao Hai. Bush. Zhao Feng moved back and forth between the two. With a slight pull of the whip in his hand, Zhao Hai and Zhao Yun were tied up together. Why did he tie us up? Zhao Hai asked in shock. I don't know either. Zhao Yun's mind was somewhat muddled. The two of them were older than Zhao Feng, and their cultivation was higher than Zhao Feng's. But before they could even react, they were tied up by Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, don't go. Let us go. I, Zhao Yun, will fight you fair and square. Zhao Yun shouted. Let us go. Zhao Hai was also extremely unwilling. You talk a lot of nonsense. How about I strip you and let the other children and maids in the city see? Zhao Feng yawned and casually said. Immediately, Zhao Yun and Zhao Hai trembled, not saying a word. Although they were still young, they still had some understanding of the matters between men and women. If they were to be naked in front of the maids, they would not be able to raise their heads for the rest of their lives. Forget it, let's strip them first so that next time, Zhao Feng said again. Brother Feng, this little brother knows his wrongs. From now on, whatever you say will be true. Zhao Hai, who was the older 13 years old, immediately flattered. Brother Feng, this little brother is willing to work like a horse for you. Zhao Yun was also frightened by Zhao Feng. The dignified son of the city lord was stripped naked and tied up together. He really could not imagine such a tragic scene. At such a young age, they felt that this was the first time they had seen such an evil person after being tied up by Zhao Feng. Just like this, every time a child came looking for trouble, they would be intimidated by Zhao Feng. Afterwards, every time they saw Zhao Feng, they would be extremely respectful, not daring to be negligent. Even when Zhao Feng was slacking off, there would be people who would specially come over to serve him, massage his legs, and so on. If they were careless and offended him, they might really be tied up and stripped naked for others to see. On this day, the dream source within Zhao Feng's soul suddenly sensed something and faintly trembled. Such a familiar feeling. I wonder if it's Lu Qinxin, Zhao Yufei, or the little thieving cat. Zhao Feng muttered to himself and suddenly stood up. Chapter 1575. At that moment, the dream origin in Zhao Feng's soul sensed a familiar aura. It trembled slightly, but it disappeared in a flash. Brother Feng, what's wrong? The hearts of several older disciples trembled and they immediately asked. They thought that they had massaged incorrectly, causing Zhao Feng to feel uncomfortable. He suddenly stood up, trembling in fear. I'm fine. Zhao Feng smiled faintly and lay down again. Zhao Feng was in no hurry. He believed that they would meet again soon. Brother Feng, tomorrow is the annual assessment. You have to be careful. Instructor Lin has been waiting for this opportunity. Zhao Hai smiled flatteringly. Zhao Feng skipped class every other day and didn't even enter the martial arts arena. Instructor Lin couldn't do anything about it. After all, Zhao Feng was the city lord's son. However, the clan attached great importance to the annual assessment. If Zhao Feng didn't even participate in the assessment, or if his results were terrible, Instructor Lin could use this as an excuse to report it to the higher-ups. In fact, Zhao Hai didn't think much of Zhao Feng. He was even waiting to see Zhao Feng make a fool of himself. After all, he only obeyed Zhao Feng because of deterrence. However, he was still very puzzled. Why was his cultivation higher than Zhao Feng's, but Zhao Feng had tied him up without any resistance? Assessment? Zhao Feng remembered that there was indeed such a thing, but he didn't pay much attention to it. He was the reincarnation of a dignified creator-level powerhouse. Would he be afraid of a simple assessment? Immediately, Zhao Feng continued to take a nap. The next day, Zhao Feng came to class. Who's this? He looks quite delicate. A young girl in a floral dress stared at Zhao Feng. Because Zhao Feng rarely came here, many of the children of the same age didn't know him. He's the city lord's son, but don't be fooled by his appearance. Look at the silver whip at his waist. I heard that he has a special hobby. He likes to tie people up and strip them naked. Yeah, I've heard about it too. A few girls gathered around and whispered to each other. As soon as Zhao Feng came in, he had already heard a lot of people talking about him. He didn't care at all, but when he walked in, he deliberately flashed the silver whip on his waist. Immediately, the girls who had gathered to discuss fled in fright. Not long after, a burly man walked in. It was Coach Lin. When Coach Lin entered, he saw Zhao Feng and was stunned for a moment. Then, he remembered that this was the second son of the city lord. He sneered. It seemed that Zhao Feng did not dare to not participate in the assessment. But even if he came, so what? He believed that Zhao Feng definitely did not know anything and would definitely score the lowest in the assessment. Soon, everyone had arrived. After Instructor Lin distributed the papers, Wei Yan said sternly, "The assessment has begun. If I find anyone cheating during the assessment, I will deduct 20 points from your results." The annual test was divided into a literary test and a martial test. The literary examination primarily tested one's understanding of the history of South Cloud City and the Azure Net Kingdom, and it also tested one's knowledge of cultivation. After saying this, Instructor Lin began to wander around. Instructor Lin was a peak star origin realm expert. If these brats cheated, they would not be able to escape his eyes. The cultivation system of the phaseless world was roughly the same as that of the fan universe. It was divided into the body refinement realm, ascending spirit realm, 3-chi realm, star origin realm, divine transformation realm, imperishable realm, 9 ranks of chaos heaven, 3rd heaven of origin flow, and world realm. The corresponding realms of the fan universe were the consolidated realm, ascending spirit realm, true spirit realm, origin core realm, void god realm, mystic light realm, rank 9 true god, 3rd heaven of god lord, and god realm. In the fan universe, the peak star origin realm Instructor Lin was an origin core venerate lord. The spatial level of South Cloud City was extremely close to the fan universe's ancient desolate realm of gods. The majority of the children around Zhao Feng were at the 3-chi realm, the fan universe's true spirit realm. The true spirit realm was divided into perfected being, true profound, and true lord, while the 3-chi realm was divided into azure chi realm, blue chi realm, and violet chi realm. Zhao Feng had just reached the initial level of the azure chi realm, and he was one of the weakest of the group, but he was also the youngest. Zhao Feng scanned the paper scroll. Too simple. As the son of the city lord, Zhao Feng could enter the city's collection pavilion as he pleased. With his abilities, he had long ago memorized the contents of the library. Swish, swish. Zhao Feng took up his brush and began to casually write. After less than 5 minutes, Zhao Feng put down his brush and closed his eyes to rest. In the distance, Instructor Lin coldly snorted. In his view, Zhao Feng had put down his brush so quickly because the questions were too difficult and he couldn't answer them, so he had given up. But Instructor Lin's eyes focused on the paper scroll in front of Zhao Feng, and he grimaced. Zhao Feng had finished all the questions, and with a casual glance, he discovered that all the answers were correct without any flaws. One had to know that the other children around him had not even answered 10 questions, and all of them were frowning and scratching their heads. But Zhao Feng had already finished all the questions. What shocked Instructor Lin even more was that he was actually attracted to Zhao Feng's handwriting, as if it contained countless profound philosophies that he could not understand. This is impossible. He must have cheated. Instructor Lin howled in his heart. But a mere Azure Chi realm child had cheated right under his nose. How could he not have discovered it? Without concrete evidence, Instructor Lin did not dare to accuse the city lord's son. But if he had not cheated, how could Zhao Feng have answered all the questions in such a short time? Moreover, his accuracy seemed to be 100%. Just like that, Instructor Lin passed the examination in confusion and frustration. After putting away the paper scroll, the group went to another special training field. After the written test was the martial test. There were 10 dark gray metal passageways in the huge training field. Next, whoever I call out will step forward and enter the puppet passageway. Points will be calculated according to the time taken. Instructor Lin announced loudly. Martial artists paid more attention to strength. Compared to the written test, the martial test was more important. I've underestimated this kid. He must have read quite a lot of books, so he has a good memory. But this martial test, Instructor Lin could not help but smirk sinisterly. The puppet passageway was filled with mechanisms, formations, and puppetry techniques. Without real ability, it would be absolutely difficult to pass. And those puppets did not recognize people. Even if Zhao Feng was the city lord's son, he would still be treated the same as everyone else. Zhao Wu, Zhao Hongliang, Zhao Qianling, Zhao Feng. Instructor Lin called out 10 names, and Zhao Feng was one of them. The 10 people stepped forward quickly. Among them, a few children were still a little nervous. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's expression was calm and uninterested. At the same time, the eyes of some of Zhao Feng's lackeys shone. They also wanted to see how strong Zhao Feng was. As for those who were not familiar with Zhao Feng but often heard of Zhao Feng's notoriety, they were gloating. Soon, the 10 people walked into the puppet passageway. A white light swept across Zhao Feng's body, and a mechanical voice sounded, "Green Qi Realm Primary Stage." The difficulty of the passageway would increase or decrease according to the challenger's cultivation level. Then, there was a clicking sound in the passageway, and many dark and stiff figures appeared in it. Then, silence returned. Puppets, mechanisms? Zhao Feng's lips curled into a smile. In this life, he did not pay much attention to cultivation, but he had done a lot of research on faces, weaponsmithing, puppets, and mechanisms. Paying no attention, Zhao Feng walked in. In an instant, the mechanical puppets in the dim passageway began to dance. In the training ground. Relying on his identity as the city lord's son, he can do whatever he wants. I wonder how strong he is? He won't be able to pass. I bet that he will definitely come out from the entrance. After Zhao Feng entered, many young disciples immediately began to discuss. Most of these people were not familiar with Zhao Feng, but they had often heard of Zhao Feng's notoriety. At a young age, they were naturally repulsed by bad people. However, most of them were envious of Zhao Feng. They were envious that Zhao Feng could do whatever he wanted without cultivating or attending classes. I think that kid probably won't be able to come out, Instructor Lin chuckled inwardly. He took a few steps forward and scanned the passageway with his spiritual consciousness. If Zhao Feng couldn't come out, he would still have to rescue him. By then, he would be able to give Zhao Feng a good scolding. Even if he scored full marks in the written examination, he would still score 0 in the martial examination. He would still have the lowest score among all of them. However, after scanning with his spiritual consciousness, Instructor Lin realized that there was no one in the puppet passageway. How could there be no one in the passageway? Instructor Lin was shocked. At this moment, "Hey, Instructor Lin, how many marks did I get?" A childish laughter sounded. He looked over and saw Zhao Feng walking over. It turned out that while Instructor Lin was inspecting the passageway, Zhao Feng had already passed. "No, you passed." Instructor Lin had a surprised expression. Many disciples at the back were dumbfounded with their mouths agape and faces filled with shock. "I'm out now, aren't I?" Zhao Feng smiled, an extremely confused look on his face. "How did you get out?" Instructor Lin's expression changed slightly and he asked immediately, "How long had it been?" Martial artists of the same level would need at least the time for half an incense stick to burn to pass through the puppet passageway. I walked out slowly. Zhao Feng acted as if he didn't know anything. In reality, after entering the puppet passageway, Zhao Feng found the key point and stopped all the puppet mechanisms in the entire passageway unless they were restarted. Instructor Lin was speechless. He no longer knew how to communicate with this 7-year-old child. He couldn't let Zhao Feng take the test again either. That would mean that he suspected Zhao Feng of cheating. Furthermore, he couldn't produce any evidence of Zhao Feng cheating and he didn't dare to accuse the son of the city lord like that. "I'm done. I'm so tired." I'm going to take a break. Zhao Feng stretched and quickly left. Instructor Lin was speechless. In his view, Zhao Feng had only casually written and walked around in these 2 tests. How could he possibly be tired? After waiting for half an incense stick of time, the most talented of the 10, Zhao Qian, rushed out, his face red and swollen with excitement. The results came out on the 2nd day after the assessment. The city lord's second son, Zhao Feng, had passed the first test with full marks, shocking the entire Zhao clan and even South Cloud City. Among the younger generation of the Zhao clan, many top scholars and martial arts tyrants were also deeply stimulated by this matter. Brother Feng, this little brother is willing to work like an ox or a horse for you. Please teach me your secret technique. Zhao Hai excitedly bent over and massaged Zhao Feng's leg. Brother Feng, if you need anything in the future, just tell me. Even if I have to climb a mountain of blades or plunge into a sea of flames, this little brother will do it for you. For a moment, those juniors who had submitted to Zhao Feng out of fear immediately changed their attitudes and began to work without complaint. He did nothing all day, never cultivated, only ate, drank, and played, but he could still get full marks in the test. Which child didn't want this? There was even a group of juniors who had applied to become Zhao Feng's lackeys, but they had been driven away by the older group of lackeys. 6 years passed in the blink of an eye, and Zhao Feng was now 14 years old. One day, the dream origin in Zhao Feng's soul trembled once more, this time with great intensity. It's nearby. With a thought, Zhao Feng immediately stood up and left the city lord's mansion. Brother Feng, where are you going? Brother Feng, where are you planning on going to play? The group of youths hastily followed. Some of these former lackeys were already close to 20 years old, but they were still willing to follow Zhao Feng and were completely obedient. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.